It's Warp Storm time. Whoa. Grotty is very pleased. Extremely pleased, even though it's a corn demon on the front of the Codex and not a noble demon.
He doesn't mind.
He doesn't mind because he is everyone's friend.
Yeah, he seems very happy.
So look, massive thank you to Games Workshop for allowing us to preview this book, sending us this book to preview. Very privileged to get the opportunity. Had this for a week or so now, and really interesting. Really love it. I'm going to say straight off the bat, I've really loved the book.
Shake things up, isn't it?
Exactly. For that very reason, you hit the nail on the head. It's going to change the typical units that you see as like auto includes. It's going to change it round, and I think actually make the game in terms of variety much more interesting, which is good. So I'm going to go over some of the rules as we speak about the Noble Demons and Corn Demons alliance that I've got going on. So it will be a little longer than normal, guys, but I'll cover some of the interesting new changes in the book. Like changes to the changeling. The changeling got changed.
He changed himself.
Yeah, but Tzeentch should be happy because it's a change.
Yeah, we like change. We don't fear change here.
No. So, look, and there's lots of other changes other than that. Essentially, I don't think you're going to see Tzeentch demons all the time now, whereas before you used to see them, or maybe noble demons, but you never saw Slaanesh and Khorne.
You might see some Slaanesh now.
Yeah, you might just. Oh my goodness, 0 to hero. So, look, really cool stuff. Hopefully you guys are looking forward to this. We do have an interesting mission for you today, one of the new chapter approved Maelstrom missions, which I think is going to be really cool. Unfortunately, my army seems to be about 3 times your size.
Yeah, but it's quality, not quantity.
That's right.
Am I right?
You're absolutely right. And because of that, that's why Grotty says he likes you, even though you don't like him.
He's alright, he's growing on me a bit. I'm feeling a bit...
You've never said you liked Grotty before.
Well, change.
Oh, I see what you did there. So with that in mind, this is coming up next. Team, here we are. We have the Deathwatch finally here, full Deathwatch force. So a bit of a double debut here.
Yeah.
Which is very, very cool.
Yeah.
And the Deathwatch are an interesting one. So obviously they've just gotten quite a few little tweaks, little updates in the new chapter approved supplement, which of course we are using. So Mr. Beard, why don't you take us through your list? Yeah. We'll go over some of the options you've taken, because Deathwatch you don't really see very often on YouTube.
There are reasons.
In general, or yeah, it's they've are they struggling a bit now? Well, chapter approved has helped.
Well,
but
yes and no. Mainly no, actually. Look, I've been very keen to get the Deathwatch on the channel for a while. I think they are interesting. They can be used quite well. They're still quite a complicated army, and probably more complicated than they need to be with all their mixed units and things like that with troops, because you can still have veterans plus bikers plus terminators plus vanguards in one unit, and they do have it does make them quite what's the word I'm trying to think of, quite
elite.
Well, yeah, like they have lots of tricks, but then they're a very strange unit anyway.
You're quite specialised sort of
thing. Yeah, when you've got a biker plus terminator plus a vanguard in the same unit, it's a bit weird. But we're not doing that today. I digress. So I'll take you through what we're taking today. So in terms of the troops, I've got 5 units of 5 veterans. Now the veterans are kitted out. 3 of the units have 3 shotguns and 2 frag cannons. Now the frag cannons are quite different to anyone that's played Deathwatch in the past when 7th was around. The Deathwatch frag cannon had a couple of profiles. One of them essentially was for blowing up tanks. One of them was for dealing with massed infantry. Now they're kind of both for dealing with infantry. They're not great at dealing with any vehicles. Not a problem in this game so much because you don't have any.
No.
But when you do have a lot of infantry to deal with, and anything with particularly high toughness, the frag cannons are very good. So the ranged shell is 24 inches. It's strength 7 and AP -2. If you're in half range like you were previously, it's then strength 9, AP -3, which is pretty cool. Damage 2 on both ranges.
Well, strength 9's pretty good. So
it is pretty good.
How many shots is it?
It's 2 shots.
Okay.
And it's an assault weapon, so you don't get the negative from moving like you do with some high strength weapons, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of the frag round, which is sort of like the flamer, it's 2d6. It is strength 6 -1, and it's auto hitting. So yeah, they're pretty good. In total, I've got 10, which is pretty good. That's
a lot of Overwatch 5.
That's a lot of Overwatch.
To take when I try and charge you,
Yeah.
which is pretty much
So
all I can do.
Yeah. So the benefit the Deathwatch have against armies that have a lot of assault capability is that they are very difficult to get to through all the Overwatch.
Yeah.
So you've got, not only have you got 3 shotguns, you also have the frag cannons as well.
Yes.
So
It's a lot of Overwatch.
it's difficult to get through.
Yeah.
We'll go into more detail about the troops later on. Just a side note: two of the units have heavy thunder hammers. Sorry, 3 of the units have heavy thunder hammers. The heavier thunder hammers are pretty cool. Strength ×2, AP -3, and it's D6 damage. There is a argument to go for thunder hammers instead because they did get a points reduction. Interestingly, with chapter approved.
Okay.
I think for a normal unit, it's now 16 points. And character it's 20, I believe.
Right.
So so there is an argument to take a thunder hammer and storm shield, because you can also use the black shield model to get an additional attack, which is quite good with the thunder hammer. But for this game, it's a Deathwatch debut. You can't have a Deathwatch debut without some heavy thunder hammers.
Yeah, they also just look immensely cool.
Yes, they do.
So I would include them just on that
Yeah.
factor
Rule
alone.
of cool trumps all, as we all know.
Yeah.
Excellent. So moving on from that, we have a fast attack option, which is the Deathwatch Bikers. Now, I was, again, umming and ahhing. It's very hard to make a Deathwatch list, by the way. Anyone that has Deathwatch is not easy. Everything's very expensive.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, use this and this and this, and it's like, oh, I'm at 3,500 points. So I've taken the Bikers. I was umming and ahhing about taking a couple of 2 units of 5, but I've decided to go for a unit of 6. Bikers, I was going to put them in one of the Corvus, that's why I took 6, because they have a transport capacity of 6 for bikes, but in this game I'm just going to deploy them on the ground. Now the Bikers benefit from the special ammunition that the Deathwatch get.
Nice.
So they, obviously, as you know, they've got twin bolters, and I have given them power swords as well. There's a few different options for the special ammunition, which we'll probably go into later on, but the Hellfire round's particularly good because it's wounding on 2s.
Right.
So if you're in rapid fire range with twin bolters, that's a lot of potential wounding on 2s. So we'll see how they do later on. We've got my flyers. We've got 2 Corvus Black Stars. I like these a lot. They're very good.
A lot of firepower,
Yeah,
they're not epic as well.
Yeah, it's a great unit. They have a transport capacity of 12, so they'll be taking a couple of units of the veterans plus my HQs. Sadly, with chapter approved, the points went up for the
Assault cannons.
the assault cannons and the hurricane bolters.
Yeah.
The Black Star missile
Needed
launchers
to
stayed the
happen,
same.
though, really.
It did.
Yeah.
I could have done without any kind of points increase for this army, but hey ho, there you go. Used these before. They're very good. They are very good. There's a lot of firepower in there. The Black Star missile launchers are great at dealing again with massed infantry.
Yeah.
There's the option for taking the Storm Strike missile launchers, and there are 2 Black Star missile launchers on the Corvus Black Star. So yeah, a lot of firepower. They're a really solid flyer. So I'm excited to use those today.
Cool.
Nearly finally, we got a drop pod for. That's going to take the last 2 units of the veterans, which has the missile launcher in there. And finally, in terms of my HQs, I've got a Watchmaster, and I've got Artemis, the true Artemis.
The fake Artemis.
The fake Artemis, yeah, he's not a very good Artemis.
There is only one Artemis, and he was from the guys.
And he's also dead.
He's not. He is not dead.
The Watchmaster's cool. Watchmaster, he's got the Guardian Spear, which is great. That does also use the special ammunition. He is very, very good in combat, and he does allow rerolling 1s for all Deathwatch units. Artemis is pretty fun as well. He's just a bit of a maniac. He's got the The Hellfire Extremis, which essentially is a beefed up flamer and a bolter. Interestingly, you can fire both profiles in one go, but you would suffer -1 to hit, but that only affects the bolter because obviously it's auto hitting flamer.
Yeah,
so
whereas in 7th edition, combi weapons you have to fire one or the other.
Yeah, so I can do both. And he has the stasis bomb. So stasis bomb is pretty hilarious. It's a grenade now, so not like it used to be before. You had to plonk it on something. It's a 6-inch stasis bomb. It is it's pretty funny. If it hits, he's a 2-up ballistic skill. If it hits, it then causes D6 mortal wounds on the enemy. If he misses, it causes D6 mortal wounds on himself, which is fun. But he does have a reroll 1 bubble, so it is quite unlikely he'll miss. However, this guy is controlling the Deathwatch today, so we'll see. It's a 1 use only, so I can only blow myself up once. But yeah, it's a fun little list. It's I'll be interested to see how it does against an army like this, which is a lot of massed infantry.
Yeah.
It does look very, very small compared to
I'm a bit concerned.
The Nurgle Demons, but
because we've had a bit of demon players, we've had a bit of a points reduction in general.
Yeah.
I get quite a bit on the board. I mean, you do have a lot of anti-infantry firepower, and I don't really have any firepower at all. You know, like practically none to speak of. I think I've got 2 units in the whole army that can actually fire. Yeah. Obviously, I've got some psychic. Normally a demon army like this would be quite scary with all of the smite.
Yeah.
I do have a few smite options available, but we do use the 40k beta testing rules here, so we will be playing the smite with an increasingly difficult rate of casting. So that's good, and I think to be fair, that's fair and makes it more interesting. And then you've also got the option to actually use some of those other attacking powers, which no one was ever using because they just cast smite, right? So so it's good. Variety is good, guys. So okay, cool. Well, interesting. Is it 2,000 points on the nose?
It's actually 1999.
1999. Okay. Well, you do have a 9-point advantage over me because mine's only 1990.
Yes, guaranteed
So,
win.
so
One thing
there
I
you
forgot
go.
to mention.
Yeah.
Chapter approved. I'm not going to go over the stratagems because they are completely useless for this game.
Sorry.
That's fine. Don't worry. Although the Watchmaster does have the Beacon Angelis relic, which allows me to pick up a unit, teleport them to himself within 6 inches. Need to be away from the enemy.
Nice.
9 inches. So we'll see how that goes.
Bit of defensive tactics, perhaps.
Yes, I think I'll be teleporting backwards.
Yeah. And I think the mission will be interesting as well. That will keep things spicy and fun. So, okay, cool. So that's the Deathwatch. Let's go over the Chaos Demons. No doubt you're frothing at the bit if you're a demon fan. What's in this Chaos Demons Codex? Well, it's really, really fun. So that's coming up next. Well, here we are with a warp incursion. Demonic incursion, and we have a very large amount of demons before us. This is what you can afford. This is what you can afford, plus a couple of greater demons in here as well. So I've tried to mix it up a little bit, just to show off. So obviously I've got a very small Khorne demon army, and I've got a pretty large Nurgle demon army, which I've been busy painting for, well, ages, because it takes ages because there's lots of them. So so I added a couple of new units recently, and what we've got here is 1990 points. I've got a Khorne Demons detachment, and I've got a Nurgle Demons detachment, specifically, 2 Nurgle Demons detachments actually, and it does make a difference depending on the keywords, the demon keyword that you use, because you get some bonus rules now in the new Chaos Demons Codex, which kind of is an encouragement, if you like, to keep each detachment as its own god, its own mark, which is cool. I like the fluff. Supporting the rules and vice versa. It works really well. I really like that. So it forces you to create a bit of theme in the army, which is awesome.
They've done that very well book to book.
Yeah, they have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some of the new things in the Chaos Demons Codex. Now, I won't go into a detailed review of it here. The book will be out very shortly, and furthermore, I saved a full detailed tactical review for the Tactica series, which is over on the On Demand website. So, but what I will do now is highlight some of the very interesting interesting changes. There have been some big changes, and I think some really good ones. Chaos Demons overall now, we're going to see a lot more variety. I think all of the marks have some very valid builds, whereas I think traditionally before you were seeing Tzeentch in a very prevalent way with Brimstone Horrors, etc. And obviously Nurgle Demons were still very good, and you would have some potential builds with those as well. But you're essentially seeing Tzeentch, and you were basically never seeing Slaanesh and very rarely seeing any Khorne. Now that will change dramatically. So first things first, I just wanted to go over a couple of the god-specific rules that I'll be getting with my different detachments here. So I think Warhammer Community's already previewed perhaps all of these, but if not, for those of you which missed it, I'll go over them here. So I get the Demonic Loci special rule, and this is on all characters. You get this for free, providing that all characters in that detachment are of the same god keyword. So they're either all Nurgle or they're all Khorne. Okay, and if you do that, in particular, my Nurgle characters will get Locus of Virulence. Each time I make a wound roll of a 6+ for a Nurgle Demon unit within 6 inches of any friendly model with the Locus of Virulence, so any Nurgle character, the attack inflicts 1 additional damage. So that actually helps the Nurgle Demons be a little bit more dangerous against multi-wounds, characters, vehicles, creatures, etc. Because before they were quite resilient, but they weren't actually that killy. Now there is actually a way, especially with the new sort of Herald characters that you've been given access to, which I'll go over very shortly. Nurgle Demon units, especially in large blobs, can actually be quite scary. And I already thought they were quite scary before, because Plague Weapons, you can reroll your wounds, but now actually they can be, quite nasty, I think. So, let's see how this goes. Now, the Khorne one, we have the Locus of Rage, so it will just be the Bloodthirster in this, because he's part of my Outrider detachment. We've just got the 1 Khorne character. You can reroll charge rolls for Khorne Demon units that are within 6 inches of a friendly model with the Locus of Rage in the charge phase. So this is a really nice buff for Khorne, because obviously you want to get in combat, and when you're surrounded by Fleshhounds, who are pretty fast anyway, it's going to be a nice bonus to have. And also means that the Locus should affect yourself as well, so that the Bloodthirster has got a reroll failed charge, which is nice. So look, just thought I'd go over those two. I won't go over the other two now. But what we've got here is 1,990 points. Now I'm going to talk about the army, tell you what's in the list, and I'll talk about some of the rules and interesting relics and changes as we go along. But what we've got here is a battalion detachment. We've got an Outrider detachment. The battalion is a Nurgle detachment. The Outrider is a Khorne detachment. And then I've got a Supreme Command detachment, because I just wanted to take a couple more Heralds to show you guys the different variety, etc. As well as having a great Unclean one and a Prince. So there we go. And that's a Nurgle detachment as well, by the way, guys. So what we've got in the battalion detachment is 3 units of 30 Plague Bearers. Okay, so they've got a Demonic Icon, they've got the Plague Reaper Champion, so it comes with that for free. And they've got a musician in there as well, an instrument in there as well. So between the icon and the instrument, basically they're getting a +1 inch on their advance and charge rolls, which is nice. And then also with an instability check, I keep calling it instability because I'm so familiar with 7th edition. But basically when they take a morale check, on the roll of a 1, reality blinks, and actually they can regain models. So, nice little buffs to have. I think it's the icon and musical instrument are 25 points for the both of them. One's 10 points, one's 15 points. But Plague Bearers in general, pretty cheap. I mean, 3 big blobs of 30 here. They've still got the Cloud of Flies rule as well, which means a -1 to hit them, providing they're over 20 models strong, which is, pretty decent. So if you're going to take them, you're going to take them in a big blob. It's good to have lots of troops anyway. They've still got disgustingly resilient as Nurgle Demons, so they ignore wounds on a 5-up. Plus they've got a 5-up invulnerable save. So that's pretty nasty. Plus there's a stratagem actually where you can give a demon unit a +1 to its invulnerable save.
Nice.
So you can have a big blob with a 4-up invuln and disgustingly resilient, ignoring wounds on a 5-up. It's pretty rank, but guess what? It's Nurgle. It's supposed to be rank, isn't it? So there you go. So I've got 3 blobs of those. That's my troops for the battalion. Then in that battalion's HQ slots, I've got a Demon Prince. Not much to report here, same points as before. Can't take a Warp Bolter in the Chaos Demons Codex. not that that's a big issue, but just in case you wanted one, you can't. It's not in the Chaos Daemons Codex, so you'd have to use an index version. Does have Disgustingly Resilient, so that's good. So like the Death Guard's Demon Prince now, we've got a Noble Demon Prince with, of course, Disgustingly Resilient. That's what he should have. Freshly painted this one up, so quite enjoying it. Put my little propeller rotors on him so that he can fly. So he's of course a Demon Prince with wings, and I've given him the 2 Malefic Talons. Because I still think that's probably the best way to go. Yeah. There is a relic in the Demon Codex now with the sword that you can replace the Hellforged sword with, which is nice. I was hoping they'd do that with Death Guard, but they didn't. But even with the sword, I mean, it is good. It's interesting. I'll tell you about the sword now, because you guys can go, well, Lawrence, you're silly, you should definitely take the sword. I still like the +3 attacks from the Malefic Talons personally. But I'll go over the sword's rules now. So Corruption, melee weapon, +2 strength, -3 save, damage D3, but you can re-roll failed wounds for the weapon, so it treats it like a plague weapon. But you're still only doing it on the Demon Prince's 4 attacks, I think. Whereas generally, I think I would prefer...
7.
Yeah, generally, you know... I mean, the Hellforged sword, it does make you strength 9, to be fair, in comparison with the Hellforged sword. It is a better minus, but the Hellforged sword is a guaranteed damage of 3.
Yeah.
But you get D3 damage with this, and you can reroll failed wounds. Look, it's an interesting one, but you'll only have the 4 attacks.
It's not a clear choice, is it?
It's not a clear choice. It's not a clear choice. What do you guys think? You know, I think the sword's quite interesting. I just don't know if I would. Still don't know if I'd take it over having more attacks. You know, I generally like more attacks. The reroll wounds is nice though. So look, that's that. That's Demon Prince giving him wings. Now I've got a Great Unclean one here. Now we've got some good new choices for the Great Unclean ones in the Codex. However, of course, as of filming this, the models aren't actually released yet. I believe they should be on pre-order now, right now in fact. Certainly the Codex is. Now there's actually a few different Great Unclean ones, plus a special character clean one, a Great Unclean one called Rotigus, who's not that many more points. I think he's about 10 more points. In summary, he's got a cool rule that whenever he casts a power, if it's a 7 or more, the nearest enemy unit takes a mortal wound automatically, which is pretty good. But the other Great Unclean ones are also interesting as well. So you're looking at 18 wounds, toughness 7. The standard loadout is Plague Flail and the Bile Sword, which is a +1 strength, -3 damage D6 weapon. Now this is actually Scabaithrax, the Forge World Great Unclean one, like a super Great Unclean one. So what I'm doing is today, you know, for argument's sake, because obviously we don't have the model out, I'm going to use him as a normal Great Unclean one with the sword and the flail. So the flail is his horrible rotting tongue, which he's got wrapped around the big blade there, so it kind of all makes sense. So hopefully you guys are okay with that. And he's Greater Demon, so he's Demon units, noble demon units within 6 inches of him can use his leadership, which is cool. There's a couple of interesting things you can do, like a Bile Blade. I've got the Bile Sword, but if you had a Bile Blade, he can do a mortal wound onto himself to give him a +1 to cast.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it basically offers up some of his guts. It's called Putrid Offering.
Oh, how delightful.
Yeah, and for those of you wondering what the bell does, because that's quite interesting as well, reverberating summons, it allows him to roll an additional die for summoning a unit, so you get 4d6 instead of 3d6.
Wow.
Could be very useful. But its other buff is that any Nurgle Demon unit within 7 inches, you roll at the beginning of the turn, and on a 4+, a single slain model is returned to that unit. Quite nice. Obviously, I don't have any sort of bell here, so I would have used it if I thought I could have gotten away with it. But I think this is more WYSIWYG and kind of makes sense. This is what I would use him as, you know, in a normal game. So look, that is the battalion detachment. We then have an outrider detachment consisting of a Bloodthirster. These guys are pretty cool, very similar to what they were before. And then we've got 3 units of 5 Fleshhounds just to fill out that fast attack choice. Fleshhounds I quite like. You know, we've got the reroll charge now if they're near the character. They do have lots of attacks. I don't think they're actually any different than they were in the index. They've still got 2 attacks, still got 2 wounds, 4+, toughness 4, 10-inch move. Got the Collar of Khorne, so each unit can deny a psychic an enemy psychic power, which is quite nice. Yeah, I quite like that. Because, you know, if you just want the extra denial ability, why not? But yeah, they've got 2 attacks, strength user, -1. They've got the Unstoppable Ferocity rule, which is basically the generic Khorne Demon rule, which in this instance is +1 attack in the first round of combat, whether you've been charged or you have charged. So it's really cool. It's like so I'll just go over it here. Yeah, and it also includes +1 strength as well. So actually it becomes strength 5, 3 attacks each, whether they've charged or been charged. Pretty cool.
It's very cool.
And it's -1 as well.
Yeah.
And they're quite fast, so that's quite nice. So I just did a little Khorne detachment for you guys. Now, I've given a relic to the Bloodthirster.
The big axe.
Well, you know what? I was considering the big axe.
Yeah. Was it a Skull Reaper axe?
It's called Skull Reaver,
Skull
and
Reaver.
it allows you to re-roll failed wounds when targeting a Titanic unit, which is pretty epic. And
That's so cool!
It's really cool. And each time you make a wound roll of 6, you do D3 mortal wounds in addition. Now, the profile of the axe is basically exactly the same as the profile of my Unfettered Rage Bloodthirster here. But on a roll of a 6, I would get the D3 mortal wounds. You don't have any Titanic units, so I wouldn't...
I don't have many units.
No,
No
you
Titanic units.
But you know what? I think that the Skull Reaver's already been previewed by Warhammer Community, so I thought I'd take something different. I'd take the Armour of Scorn,
Okay.
which actually gives him a 4+ invulnerable save and allows him to attempt to deny 1 psychic power each phase.
Interesting.
Just for a bit of fun, just to show you something different. There are a couple of other relics here for Khorne, Crimson Crown, Argath, the King of Blades. I won't go over those now, but they're quite interesting. I will, however, go over the Forbidden Gem, because this is a huge one. It's probably, in my opinion, probably the best relic out of the lot, and it's Slaanesh. I don't have a Slaanesh Demons army yet. But the Forbidden Gem, Slaanesh model only, once per game, at the start of any phase, the bearer of the Forbidden Gem can use it to hypnotise a single enemy character within 12 inches. So look, it is within 12 inches, but any of these big characters, the Primarchs or whatever, generally are going to try and, kill you in combat, and the Slaanesh you want to move forward and get into combat, which they're very, very good at doing in this book. I won't go over that now, but trust me, the Slaanesh are one to watch out for. You roll 3d6 if the total exceeds that model's leadership characteristics. So you're doing it on 3d6. Most of the big characters leadership 9, leadership 10. It cannot act until the end of the phase. It cannot move, manifest psychic powers, shoot, charge, or fight. And it cannot use any abilities on its data sheet that affect another unit.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it?
Okay.
I don't want to shut down some of those big characters. But,
Give them in, how about new?
So yeah, a couple of other interesting little changes, like Brimstones now are just a 5, they're actually a 6+ invulnerable save. The pink horrors are 4+, blue horrors are 5+. So they've sort of made it a little bit more like how I'd imagine the models would actually be in the fluff, which is cool. Changeling, no longer a -1 to hit bubble. It's a 6+ ignore wound bubble now. So that character, which is pretty much an auto includes and seen everywhere, is now going to be, he's still alright, but he's not the auto include he was before.
Well balanced.
Good, yeah, it's more balanced. It encourages a little bit more variety. So look, that's the Nurgle Demons Battalion. That's the Khorne Outrider detachment. The only other thing I'm going to go over with you guys now is the Supreme Command detachment, where I've got 3 heralds, what they used to be called heralds anyway. Now we've got all of the gods have some interesting options in terms of the heralds. They've done the same thing with all of the codexes that have been released so far, in the respect that they're creating characters which obviously help buff your army and you can create synergy between the characters. Now again, 2 of the these new heralds, the Stockty Bile Piper, love it. Spoilpox Scrivener. Grotty likes to hang out with the Bile Piper in particular because he says that his tunes are always on point.
Banging tunes.
Banging tunes. And then you've got the Poxbringer, which is your traditional herald, basically.
Where is Grotty?
Right, now Grotty's just over here. Grotty is always there. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, right, I'm not going to go over the Bile Piper now because I don't have one included here. Again, I've done a bit of a cheeky tactic here. What I've done is I've taken 2 of the Poxbringers, because that's actually what the model is. That's what I own and that's what I have painted. And what they do is they add 1 to your strength characteristic for Nurgle Demon units within 6 inches of 1 or more of these models. So again, all of a sudden my Plague Bearers are now strength 5. and they're re-rolling failed wounds with their plague weapons, and on the roll of 6s, they're damage 2 weapons. There's no minus, but all of a sudden that's quite interesting when you've got a lot of attacks. Plus, this next one, the Spoilpox Scrivener, who is what I've taken. Now I'm using the Forge World Herald model to represent my Scrivener, okay? That's what I'm doing today, guys. Now, obviously, I'll get a proper model, but frankly, he's got, you can probably use him as whatever you want, because he used to just be a Nurgle Herald, and now he just looks like his own sort of character. You may as well use him as whatever Herald you want. So if you've got one, why not? So I'm using him as the Spoilpox Scrivener. So what he's got a pistol weapon, Disgusting Sneezes, I won't bother you with that now. Plague Sword, my Plague Sword in this instance is this little claw thing. Now, here's the key thing. He's got Stern Taskmaster. This is huge. You know, you need this if you're playing Nurgle Demons. Add 2 inches to the movement characteristic of all Plague Bearer infantry units within 6 inches of one or more of these models. So Plague Bearers are a 5-inch move, in case you didn't know. Now all of a sudden they're a 7-inch move. Favoured number of Nurgle, plus that's actually pretty fast.
Scary. Well, considering what's going quickly, that's scary.
Well, plus then you've got the instrument, and you're adding 1 inch to your charge and advance rolls. And if you're playing Nurgle Demons, you're going to advance, because guess what? You've got no shooting, so you've got to advance, right? Well, unless you're sitting on an objective. So all of a sudden you're moving 7 inches, plus D6, plus 1 inch a turn. That's actually quite fast. That's actually quite scary. I'm going to put that on the table right now.
I'm scared.
You can pick it up if you like.
I'm scared.
Okay? Then it gets better. He also gives keep counting, meet your quota. Add 1 to all hit rolls made for Plague Bearer units within 6 inches of one or more models with this ability. So all of a sudden they're not hitting on 4s, they're hitting on 3s. At strength 5, because of all of the synergies that are happening, re-rolling wounds, re-rolling wounds, and on the roll of 6s they're doing 2 damage. In addition, guess what? Because you're adding 1 to your hit rolls, on the hit roll of a 7+ for a Plague Bearer unit, if they're within 6 inches of this guy, you can immediately make 1 additional attack at the same target with the same weapon.
Exterminators. Just blow it all up. This is not good.
So you can see here where these Plague Bearer blocks are actually pretty nasty, right? You know, these are, no joke, they're actually much better than they were before, and in my opinion, they were already very good. So we've gotten them even better now. And I think you generally want to have a couple of these Scriveners, you know, a couple of the Rot Bringers, just to make sure you've got enough characters to keep that synergy alive, to keep the dream alive, you know. Things like a Prince, I still think are very valid, because then you've got the reroll to 1, reroll 1s to hit as well, which is, I think, really awesome. So all of a sudden, you've got quite an interesting force here. Now, you know, got a little bit of variety. I would love to have shown you some other stuff, guys, you know, some Slanesh stuff, some Tzeentch stuff. But I just don't have that quite ready yet, but rest assured it is all on its way. So look, that's it, 1990 points. I've done a very brief overview of the book there. Now obviously there are a lot of cool stratagems. I'll go over a couple now. You'll see more as they're played. There are some very good stratagems in this book. The key one that sticks out to me, which I think a lot of people are going to be like, oh wow, is Demonic Incursion. So it is used during the deployment. Sorry, not Demonic Incursion, Denizens of the Warp. It is used during deployment. So my understanding is because it's not done in a phase, like the Raven Guard stratagem, you can actually use this stratagem multiple times. So this means that if you spend 1 command point and set up a unit of demons with a power rating of 8 or less, if you spend 2 command points, you can choose a unit of demons that are over a power rating of 9 or more. So all of a sudden you take them off, you put them in deep strike, and you can have them appear at the end of any of your movement phases 9 inches away, more than 9 inches away from the enemy unit. So I could do that on a big blob of 30 Plague Bearers. I could do it on 2 if I wanted to, or more, depends how many command points you want to spend, right? Because it's done in the deployment. Likewise, I could put a Great Unclean one in there, etc., etc. You know, a Bloodthirster in reserve. to try and charge him in. You know, you can do some cool things, and you can do some really nasty competitive things if you are playing that sort of a game with that stratagem as well. I'm sure you guys can work that out. So right, what else? We've also got, I think this is another really good one. So there are lots of good ones here. I'm not going to go over all of them, but another good one which I think is really really good is the +1 to your invulnerable save. It's called Warp Surge. It is 2 command points, but you use the stratagem at the start of any phase. Select a unit of demons. Until the end of the phase, you cannot re-roll saving throws for this unit, but its invulnerable save is improved by 1 to a maximum of 3+. So again, if you want to keep a big blob alive, you know, on something like Nurgle, where they've got that additional save as well, it's actually really nasty. But likewise, you could use it on a big creature to help preserve their life if you, for some reason, you need that particular model to remain alive. So look, there are some Nurgle specific ones. There are some Khorne specific ones, of course. I'll go over them as they may come up in the game. I do have a pretty healthy, what have I got? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 command points in this list, so that's not bad. So relic-wise, you know what I'm taking, Yarmor of Scorn. I'm not taking any of the Nurgle relics because I don't think it's that relevant in this game. But look, let's see how this goes. Apologies in advance. I actually think this army is, against your Deathwatch.
Wish I had a Codex.
Yeah, it's a bit nasty, but these are the models that I had, and I tried to do as much variety as possible. So look, we're going to play this game. The Maelstrom mission, I think, will actually keep it really spicy, because it is actually quite an interesting one.
Cool one, yeah.
So with no further ado, it's the mission coming up next. Folks, we are in. The deployment has happened. The denizens of the warp are here in force amidst the ruins of this Imperial city. Scary stuff. So why the Deathwatch here? Well, in my mind, this city was perhaps lost contact with, and it was believed because High Fleet Myrmidon, the tendrils of High Fleet Myrmidon, have spread far in the eastern fringe of the galaxy, and it was feared that perhaps Myrmidon had reached this Imperial world. The Deathwatch nearby, one of their black ships, inquisitorial black ships, were ready to be deployed, and of course have made planetfall to find that no, it is not Myrmidon, but it is the denizens of the warp. Both Nurgle demons and Khorne demons have made a demonic incursion here on this planet's surface, and it is about to kick off. So the mission for your viewing pleasure today is a Maelstrom of War mission. It's Targets of Opportunity. So this is quite a fun one, an interesting one. So you've got your standard 6 Maelstrom objectives here. As we can see, I'm pointing out to these Tesla coils here. And they're numbered 1 to 6 as per normal. And what happens is you draw 3 tactical objectives a turn. But here's the thing, you draw it every turn, and any cards that you didn't achieve in the previous turn are automatically discarded. Hence the title, Targets of Opportunity. You must seize the opportunity as soon as it presents itself. Otherwise it will be lost in your following turn. So that will make for an interesting mission. I've not played this particular Maelstrom mission yet myself, and Mr. Beard Mr. Beard has got the opportunity to probably go first. I say probably, not definitely, but he's, as you can see, he did finish deploying before I did.
Oh, yeah.
Now, one of my units is actually in reserve, guys. So that is using the new Denizens of the Warp stratagem. I did have to spend 2 command points because I was over power level 8. And I've deployed 1 unit of 30 Plague Bearers. That's 30 of them in the warp, ready to come down at the end of one of my movement phases. So scary stuff, really. But Grotty seemed very, very happy with everything that's going on, so bless him. So there we go. So look, that's the deployments. We're playing Search and Destroy in terms of deployment maps. So there was a 9-inch bubble in the center here, and table quarters, as we can see here. So what we're going to do is roll off to see who goes first. That's coming up next. Mr. Beard.
It's very smelly over here.
Yeah, is that because of all of the Nurgle demons?
Yes. It's not me.
It's not you, that's good.
No, that's what I'm telling you.
It's
Blame it on the Nurgle.
It's your story and you're sticking to it.
So, Mr. Beard, feeling confident? You got a +1 to this roll.
Well, I'm feeling confident about this
Yeah.
part, not the rest of the game. But,
Not the rest of the game.
we'll see what
It's
happens.
understandable. Right, so let's see who is going to pick whether they go first. So I roll a 1. Well, that means that I've only got a 1. You rolled a 3, which became a 4. Very good. Mr. Beard, do you wish to take first turns?
Yes. Thank the Emperor that I'm going first.
Right, now what I'm going to do, Mr. Beard, is I'm going to attempt to seize the initiative here. So on the roll of a 6, Mr. Beard. No, okay, so it doesn't happen. The spider does not seize this day. That means it is Deathwatch, turn 1, coming up next. We're kicking off turn 1 for the Deathwatch. He's drawn his 3 Maelstrom objectives. Secure objective 6, Big Game Hunter. Well, that's potentially achievable. And Witch Hunter, which could potentially go hand in hand with Big Game Hunter, but limited firepower wise. Let me just pan up here and show you what the lay of the land is. So the movement phase has happened here. The bikers have revved their engines, screamed out through these ruins up into this alleyway here, and this actually is objective 6, folks. So Mr. Beard will be getting 1 victory point for certain at the end of this turn. Meanwhile, the 2 Corvus Black Stars have jetted forward. They are still fully laden with their cargo. The Marines haven't gotten out, but just on their right flank here, the drop pod has descended, and 2 units of Deathwatch Marines have clambered out next to that ruin and next to this objective. Whilst this objective isn't currently worth anything, it could of course potentially be in the future. Now, target wise, you know, it's a tough one for the old Deathwatch and drop pods, because obviously their flamer weapons still aren't in range when they get out of the drop pod.
This turn it is limited. I think
Yes.
they're in a position where they can be very effective next turn once you've moved.
Yeah, and the good news is that I kind of have to move towards you to kill you. So I mean, I'm not going to sit back. So
I've moved back far enough that it's unlikely you're going to be able to charge me in your first turn.
Yes, exactly right. And
not so much for the bikers though.
Likewise with the Corvus as well, because the Bloodthirster is actually a threat against the Corvus. He's got the fly keyword, of course. Could actually engage one of them in combat and potentially destroy it. Those Bloodthirsters are pretty nasty these days in combat, but he's too far away for me to reach by the looks of it, so that's quite good. But yes, as Mr. Beard has said, these bikers are in range with either Plague Bearers or this smaller unit of Flesh Hounds, which could be a cheeky first blood if he gets the right dice. So let's see what happens. Now, Mr. Beard, you don't have any Psychers in the list, so no Psychic phase. We're going straight into Deathwatch shooting phase. That's coming up next. It's shooting phase, and we're about to kick off, in fact, with the bikers first of all, the Deathwatch bikers. But as it's the beginning of the phase, I must declare my Warp Surge stratagem. So this is one of the new stratagems, very cool. There was another cool one which is called the Plague Banner for Nurgle in particular, which could have been done before the game began. I didn't think it was relevant in this particular game, so I haven't taken it. I won't bother going into that now. But Warp Surge, what I've decided to do at the beginning of any phase, you can select a unit of demons and add 1 to their invulnerable save, although they're not allowed to re-roll any saves. So that's fine, I didn't get a re-roll anyway. So I'm actually going to put it on the big blob of Plague Bearers here, because that is pretty much what the Corvus are in range of. He could split some fire on the longer range missiles, but I think that that Plague Bearer unit will probably take some fire. And even if it doesn't now, he might second guess, because I've now given it +1 to their invulnerable save, so they're 4 up in Von. They're a -1 to hit because of the Cloud of Flies ability, and in addition to that, they've got Disgustingly Resilient, so that's pretty nasty. So there you go, 2 command points done, and I spent 1 command point for Denizens of the Warp, so I'm left with 5 left at the end of, I haven't even had a turn yet, but here we go. We're going to go straight into shooting now the bikers against the Flesh Hounds. Let's make this happen.
Right, so we're in rapid fire range,
Cool.
so we've got 24 shots coming through, hit on 3s. Pretty good roll.
Nice. So no rerolls there because you're not within range of any buffing characters.
Yep.
I don't have any negatives to hit, so that's all cool.
Right, now I'm
Nicely done.
using the Hellfire round, the special ammunition for the Deathwatch. This allows me to be wounding on 2s.
That is very nice.
Yep.
Excellent. Would that work against monsters as well, out of curiosity?
The only thing it doesn't affect is vehicles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So it looks like you've wounded with everything bar 1 there.
Yep.
So how many is that then, Mr. B?
So you got 4, you got 8, 12, 16, 17 wounds.
17 wounds. Well, that's a lot of wounds, folks. Let's see if these flesh hounds can actually survive and deny him first blood. So it's 5+ invulnerable saves here. They are 2 wounds apiece. So I do make a few, but I fail 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. No, goodness. I fail 9. That means that 1 survives on 1 wound. Would you believe it? It's Black Star time. So which Black Star is firing Beard and at what?
Right, so this Corvus
Yep.
is going to fire its Hurricane Bolter into the Flesh Hound, try and finish it off.
Oh. Very good.
Sorry. And then the Twin Assault Cannon and the Black Star Rocket Launcher with
Yeah.
the Corvid Warhead, which is +1 to hit against fly keyword,
Okay.
are going to shoot at the Bloodthirster.
Copy that.
Alright.
Okay, and it's got 2 of those, is it?
It has 2.
Fantastic.
Yes,
Okay,
indeed.
cool. So what are we firing first?
Right, we're going to do the Hurricane Bolter in here first.
Okay.
So 3s. Very good.
Nice.
And then we are wounding. What's the toughness of a Flesh Hound?
Flesh out just 4.
So 4, cool. So
Yeah.
4s. Just 2
2
wounds.
1s, a 4 and a 6 there. Okay, well, look, he's only got 1 wound left.
Yeah.
It would mean that the spider needs to roll the double 5 and
Well,
double
how many-
5 and
you
6.
rolled about 7 last time, so let's see how this goes, shall we? Yay!
Yay, he's dead.
First blood!
First blood has been achieved. The Flesh Hound is sent back to the warp. Okay, so the Twin Assault Cannons and the Black Star Missile Launcher now are firing at the Bloodthirster.
Trying to whittle him down.
Here we go.
Okay, Assault Cannon first. 12 hits. It moved obviously, so this is hitting on 4s.
Sure thing.
Sadly.
So it doesn't have Power of the Machine Spirit to ignore that?
I don't think it does actually. Let me double check.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so just checked. It doesn't have Power of the Machine Spirit. What a shame. This awesome Special Forces style flyer doesn't have Power of the Machine Spirit. I was likening it more to a Storm Raven, you see, but no. However, it does have reroll 1s to hit against non-flying units.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, the Bloodthirst that he's targeting now is a flyer, so it's got the fly keyword, so no issues there. And he's already killed the Flesh Hound, so he rolled only 1s to hit, doesn't really matter. So, right, okay. Now, you got 4 hits there after
Yep.
the modifier, so let's see if you can wound.
Yeah, tricky one now. It's strength 6, so I need 5s to wound.
Yes, I am toughness 7.
Got a
Good
couple.
job. 5 and a 6 there.
Yep.
Right, now, I did give the Bloodthirster the relic. The new armor relic, Armor of Scorn, I believe it's called. So
yeah.
4+ invulnerable save, or to be honest, you've only got -1, so I'd roll a 4-up save anyway. I roll a 6 and I roll a 1, so that's 1 wound down on that Bloodthirster set. First one goes through, it's got 15 left. Then you've got the missile launchers.
I do. So I'm using the Corvid Warhead. This does grant me a +1 to hit against flyers.
Okay.
And it's heavy D6, so I'm going to roll 2D6 because there's 2 of them.
So you're basically ignoring the -1.
Yep.
So you've got 7 shots, that's
7.
the average, very nice. So you do hit on 3s now.
Yep.
Because of the... okay.
Very good.
Yeah, very nice. Okay, so that is 7 hits.
Yep, it's strength 6
and
again.
Strength 6, okay, so 5s. What's the minus on it?
-1.
Cool, and it's damage?
Damage 1.
Okay. So, right, so 4 wounds, not bad. Well done, Mr. Beards.
Bad at all.
So -1 you say, so again I get 4 up saves.
Yep.
It is just damage 1, but look, there you go. So I failed 3. So in total he's lost 4 wounds this turn. That leaves him with 12 wounds remaining. Not bad for the first Corvus. Okay, next bit of fire now. The second Corvus Black Star opens up in a strafing run. So the Twin Assault Cannons and the Hurricane Bolters are actually going to target the Flesh Hounds just to the right of the Bloodthirster there, and the Corvus Black Star missiles will also target the Bloodthirster again.
I'm avoiding these because they've got their super
Because I buffed them up,
Yeah.
yeah, and that's kind of, I did spend the 2 command points on it, but I was aware that you may then of course just ignore them. You know, it was kind of a win-win situation for me either way, I guess. So, okay, right, let's see what happens.
Right, so assault cannon first. 12 shots. Not bad.
And sorry, was that against the flesh hounds?
Against the flesh hounds, yeah.
You get to re-roll the 1, sir.
Oh, of course, because they're not ground targets.
I thought I saw 2 in there. Let's double check that. Well, ignore me. Just watched it back. I didn't see any ones. So, okay, but we must remember that in the future. So, okay.
That is just for your information. That's the Auspex array that does allow me to reroll the ones. If you're wondering why I'm doing that.
Yes.
Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 7.
Okay. You're wounded on 3. So toughness 4, strength 6. Okay. So unlucky there. Dropped 4 of them, but it's 3 wounds that have gone through.
Yep.
It's 5+ demon saves. Make 1 and I failed 2, so that means 1 flesh hound is slain. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, next.
So next we're going to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The hurricane bolter.
Okay.
Not in rapid fire range, so 6. Cool. So 5 hits.
Is it just 1 hurricane bolter that you've got?
Just the 1. Yep.
Okay.
Alright, 3 wounds.
3 wounds. Rolling to save. That's another save, and another one is killed. Alright, and now the Black Star missiles themselves into the Bloodthirster.
Yes, sir. So using the Corvid warhead again, because it's a flyer, so 2d6. So very nice.
Oh, that's nice.
11.
Yeah. Well done. 11 shots.
4,
Screaming across the battlefield.
So, 11. So hitting on 3s. That's cocked.
That's because of the +1 to hit, ignoring the -1 for moving.
Another one.
Okay, so 5 missed by the looks of it. So 2
4
there as well,
miss.
Mr. Beard.
Oh yeah, that's 4.
Okay.
Very good. And now 5's the wound.
5s.
Ah.
Oh dear, unlucky. Such a promising roll, and then it just the Bloodthirster shrugged it off. Perhaps his armour decided to scorn you. Right, well, now we are on the actual Space Marines themselves, the Deathwatch veterans, firing with frag cannon. So we're firing one of these units, and what's happening? Talk us through this.
Okay, so well out of range for the frag round, which is sort of like the flamer profile. So we're going to go for the shell round for the frag cannon. This is it's 2 shots apiece. Strength 7, AP -2, damage 2. If it is, it's not. If it was in half range, it'd be strength 9, AP -3.
Okay, copy that.
Okay. So first unit, we've got 4 shots coming through, hitting on 3s. 1's a miss.
Okay. And the strength?
Strength is 7.
Okay, so it's 4s to wound me.
Yep.
A 1, a 3, and a
2.
Nothing. Okay.
It's a shame. Cool. And then the second unit, exactly the same thing. 1's a miss. Want some more 4s, 5s, and 6s, please. Oh dear.
What?
Oh dear.
So yeah, he deserved at least 3 wounds there, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Grass
yes, I did. Considering they're 2 damage as well.
Yeah, could have been interesting. Okay, so is that your turn finished then?
That's everything shot. Yeah. The
right. Well, I mean, you do have the potential of declaring a charge. But if you did so, you would be leaving this objective. And that is your objective 6. So it looks like you haven't secured Big Game Hunter, you haven't secured Witch Hunter at the end of this turn. Your only definite point, assuming you don't charge, is secure objective 6. Yep. Will you be staying there, Mr. Beard, then?
I would, just to get to keep one objective secured, I'm going to stay put.
Fair enough, sir. Okay, so that's it. 1 victory point plus, of course, first blood. So he's actually 2 points to nothing as we go into the Chaos Daemons turn 1 coming up next. We're in Demons turn 1. Defend objective 6, advance and secure objective 4. So incidentally, these ones are funny because you have to do them over... well, actually, you could do them. You could do this, actually, because you would achieve it at the end of your opponent's turn. I don't have a way of getting there, though, this turn, unless I end up wiping out his bikes.
It's possible, but unlikely. We'll see. I don't think I can quite make it that far. But nonetheless, looks like these two won't happen. This one will happen automatically. So pan up here, we'll have a look at the battlefields. The swarm has moved forward. So specifically, this unit here has actually advanced. Don't forget to get a +1 inch to their advanced roll because of the musical instrument in there. So in actual fact, I rolled a 4 in the end, including the +1, so I rolled a 3 plus a 1. So they've moved forward 7 inches because of the Scrivener, who's right there in the middle between the Great Unclean One and the Prince. So they move 7 inches plus an additional 4 with the advance. You know, it really gets them up the board quite quickly. Pretty frightening, really. Fleshhounds have come round to the back of this Mechanicum building there. The Bloodthirster is hovering above it, looking menacing across the battlefield, maybe eyeing up one of the Corvus Black Stars, who knows. Meanwhile, the Prince, the Great Unclean One, have both moved forward. Grotty, still in the shrine here, looking down at the bikers, asking if they'll be his friends. Meanwhile, over here, the Fleshhounds have moved towards Objective 4. This was Objective 4. Okay, so that's 1 point guaranteed. Whilst this Plague Bearer Horde moved, they didn't advance this time. You can see their heads turning, leering round, a bit like one of the episodes out of The Walking Dead, except they're not poxwalkers, but Plague Bearers are very similar, I'm sure. Looking at these bikers, and they do get that +1 inch to charge as well. So I think, in fact, to get the forward model into charge range, I only need to roll a 3. So that would get +1, make it a 4, plus another 1. To be within an inch of the enemy. So I'm 5 inches away, so that's not bad, pretty good. We're in a position to lay some pain down this turn, but it gets worse. So I pan this way. Oh my goodness, demonic incursion. So denizens of the warp, that stratagem that I paid the 2 command points for before the game. I've now had a big blob of 30 Plague Bearers appear behind enemy lines here, also within 3 inches of this objective, but more importantly, creating a pincer maneuver here. The age-old pincer maneuver, passed down from spider to spider over 1,000 years of warfare.
It's a bit like, I feel a bit like the little gaggle of people on top of, in that episode of Game of Thrones when they're on the little islands and they're completely surrounded by the White Walkers.
That's exactly it, isn't it? So the question is, will Daenerys, the Dragon Rider,
riding in on a Corvus,
yes, arrive on
Mother of Corvus,
arrive and lay waste to this Nurgle Legion here? Let's find out. That'll be quite fun, actually. But nonetheless, I digress. It's the psychic phase coming up next. I'll see if I can get off some of the new powers that you guys perhaps haven't seen yet, because that would be cool. Let's see what I can do. So, first things first, Miasma of Pestilence. I believe Death Guard have this as well. In fact, I'm certain it's the exact same name, exact same power. They certainly have a power which does the same thing. It's a -1 to hit. My Great Unclean One has that. He's going to cast it on himself. So, just a little bit of extra protection. I know the frag cannons and so forth hit automatically, but there you go. So, there we go. 6, 7, 8, 9. The power does successfully go off. I only needed a 6 anyway, so there we go. He's now -1 to hit until the next turn, so that's good. So he can cast 2 powers. The other ability I've given him is Fleshy Abundance, which actually allows him to regenerate D3 wounds, or any friendly Nurgle Demon unit to regenerate D3 wounds, but we don't have any casualties Nurgle-wise, so what we're going to do is cast Smite, the age-old favourite Smite. So the nearest enemy unit will, of course, be the Bikers. See if we can cast it. It's casting number 5. So 6, 7, 8, 9 again. So that does successfully go off, sir. There's no way of you denying, is there, Mr. Beard, unless you have a special cool thing I don't know about?
I don't have any special cool things because I have an index army.
Cool things. Okay, so D3, mortal wounds. It's the big one, people. So it's 1 mortal wounds. Correct me if I'm wrong, you are 2 wounds apiece as a biker.
Yes.
So he doesn't even kill a biker.
Hooray!
Right, this Herald, aka Rotbringer, Poxbringer, is going to cast Virulent Blessing on this big unit of Plague Bearers. What does that do? Well, let me tell you. It means I get to add 1 to wound rolls for the unit in the fight phase.
Ooh.
And since I intend to get into combat in the fight phase, that makes sense. And it goes on further to say that in a roll of a 7+, it does double damage. So it would be a bike killer, some would say. So let's see if we can cast the power.
6, 7, 8. That will do it, folks. I needed a casting value of 7, funnily enough. So it goes off. This big blob of Plague Bearers now have Virulent Blessing. Nasty stuff. Now the other Herald will cast Shriveling Pox. So these two are doing a bit of a double act here.
Oh, good.
So Shriveling Pox, what that does is, casting number 6, if manifested, select an enemy unit that's within 18 inches. Well, guess what? These bikes are within 18 inches.
Oh, how convenient.
How convenient. So that's what I'm going to do. I could, of course, cast Smite and try and remove another bike, but I think this is a bit more fun just to show some of the buffs that you can get off on Plague Bearers. So what we're going to do, Shriveling Pox, it reduces your toughness by 1. So what that would mean is that you would all of a sudden be toughness 4 instead of 5, and I'm adding 1 to my wound rolls. And because I'm near these heralds, I get a +1 strength. So basically what that translates to, folks, if the power goes off, I'm strength 5, he's toughness 4, so I'm wounding him on 3s, but I add 1 to the wound roll because of the psychic powers, so I'm wounding him on 2s. And just in case I roll a 1, because it's a plague weapon, I'm re-rolling anyway.
Brilliant.
Right. It goes off, Mr. Beard. That is the deadliest unit of Plague Bearers that was ever seen. Finally, team, don't worry, the pain is nearly over. Not that I've inflicted much damage yet, but the Prince now, he knows 1 power in addition to Smite from the Noble Discipline, and he can only cast 1, incidentally, as per the Chaos Daemons book. So what I'm going to do is I've actually given him the the Nurgle's Rot, which is a nice aura ability, 7-inch psychic power. Enemy units suffer D3 mortal wounds if they're within 7 inches, which is pretty cool, on the roll of a 4+. However, what I'm going to do now is Smite, because that's all that's in range, so of course it will hit the bikers. And don't forget I need a 6 now to cast it. Now, I rolled a 10, so that's not a problem. So it does go off, D3 mortal wounds. Wow, that's the big 3, and mortal wounds do carry over, so that means I actually kill not 1 but 2 bikes. So the Prince made up for the first, the Great Unclean One smites. That marks the end of my psychic phase. Let's get on with the shooting phase, of which I think I don't have anything in range coming up next, but I'll double check, otherwise we're straight into the charge phase. Well, let's get this show on the road. It is, unfortunately, a very sad day. The demons do not have anything in shooting range.
Oh, what a shame.
My 8-inch lash just isn't good enough. However, I am an 11-inch charge away from the Corvus Blackstar with that Bloodthirster. So you know what, let's have a bit of fun. Why don't we do that first? So the Bloodthirster declares a charge against your Corvus Blackstar, sir.
Okay.
You will, of course, get to Overwatch.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, and I've got 12 wounds left. Now, because of my own locus, because it's a pure Khorne detachment, and the Bloodthirster is a character, he will actually get to reroll failed charges.
Okay.
This is a point of reference. Okay, cool.
Right, Assault Cannon first.
So he's looking for 6s here. He's got 1.
Got 1.
Yeah, okay.
Doom for you.
Doom.
Now I need a
5s
5
and
or 6.
6s.
No.
It's the 1. Okay,
Fantastic. Right, so we'll do the Hurricane Bolter.
Okay. And you're
Which
in rapid fire
is a
range.
rapid fire range.
So that's 12 shots, sir. That's right.
Very good.
Very good indeed.
Very good. 1 again.
And 1 again. It is a wound.
Whey.
So I've got a 3+ armor save, and it's a 4, so that is correct. I
Very good.
passed the save.
And then finally the Blackstar Rocket Launcher, 2d6.
Very nice, 9 shots. And what special rule do you get against the fly keyword?
It's +1 to hit.
Okay.
If
it's +1 to hit.
Would that count in Overwatch?
Oh, that's. I believe it's unmodified, always on the roll of a 6.
I think that is
Yes,
well,
no, it's unmodified. Yes, because otherwise, likewise, -1s you're not affected by -1s to hit. So yes, correct. Apologies if we're wrong there, folks. I'm 99% sure that's correct. It would have meant that he would have gotten 2 hits if that was the case, but okay, fair enough. So,
can't reroll the 1 because it's not a non-flyer, sadly.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, that would apply, wouldn't it? Okay, so there we go. There we go. Overwatch is done. I still do need an 11 to make it, but I do get to re-roll the failed charge because of the locus of being a pure Khorne detachment, him being a character in a Khorne detachment. 5, 6, 7. Okay, I'm just going to try and re-roll the charge here. As per his locus. Oh, very close. 9 inches. He nearly made it.
You stay back.
He's going to stay back for another turn, which is good, which means he can get another strafing run off on him, potentially kill him next turn. It's possible. Who knows? Let's see what happens next. We've got the Nurgle Demons, a big Plague Bearer unit. I'll let Mr. Beard get some dice, but they're declaring a charge against these bikers. Well, rather appropriately, he is selecting the Hellfire round, which against demons, I suppose, makes sense. So send us back to the Hellfire we came from. Overwatch, here we go, against the Plague Bearers.
So it's 16 shots.
16 shots.
Rapid fire.
Oh, that's nice. I think I see
got
three
three.
hits there for certain. Yep, okay, 3 it is.
Now wounding on 2s.
Wounding on 2s because of the Hellfire round, 3 wounds. Right, now.
And because I rolled a 6, the whole unit's white because they're called, they've got little Nurgle killing tips on the end of the ammunition.
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah.
The Bile Killer round.
Yep. It's the Kleenex round.
Well, I guess I have to make these saves then, Mr. B.
They've got Balsam.
5 to save. Right, 1 invulnerable save made.
Yep.
Then our disgustingly resilient.
Oh, yes.
Now disgusting kicks in. Of which we do make 1. So 1 is killed on the way in. So he explodes into nasty bile. Bioacid goes everywhere.
You've only got 29 left now.
Only 29 left, that's correct. Right, well let's get on with this then, shall we? 2 charge, sir. 2 charge. Right, incidentally, we only roll a 4. Now, that is actually all we needed to roll, because we get the +1 inch to charge, but it would mean actually that I would not get many into combat.
Correct.
Which is not ideal. Now, I could use a command reroll here on one of the dice, and just hope that I don't roll a 1, basically. Let me have a little calculation, see how many I could actually get into attack range, and then I'll come back to you. So there you go, I had a little think about it. You know what, I thought it was actually going to be more fun. Let's just see how this pans out. I could have re-rolled and failed the charge, which is very possible. I could have rolled a 1, or I could have... If I'd rolled a 2, I would have made it in the exact same distance that I am now. If I'd rolled a 3 or more, I could have gotten slightly closer. The way I look at it, between the scenery here anyway, I was kind of limited in my window. He sort of deliberately put me into a bit of a bottleneck position here, and I like to think much like the Spartans.
The hot gates.
That's right.
Sparta!
That's right. The Deathwatch have led me to this opening, very specifically to destroy the Plague Bearers. You know, a piece at a time. We're forcing our great numbers to mean nothing, which is very, very cool. But look, I haven't piled in yet, so I just wanted to show you how the move was after I did finish the charge. I'm thinking I might be able to get 11 in, maybe 14. I'll see how it pans out. I've got a 3-inch consolidate. There are no other charges this turn. Don't forget this unit advanced, so they cannot declare a charge. Prince is not going to be able to make it in after the Plague Bearers have done so, which I kind of figured. So look, let's leave it there, folks. It's the fight phase coming up next. I'll just do my pile in off camera. Right, we've piled in. We're in the fight phase. Only 1 unit that's declared a charge, so he can't interrupt because I still get to hit first with this charging unit. So what we're going to do is calculation was correct. I actually get 11 in total that can actually engage, can actually attack this Deathwatch unit here. So it's just single attacks, but with all of the different buffs going on, namely from the Scrivener, who's within 6 inches, I can potentially get additional attacks on the roll of 6s because the Scrivener adds 1 to my hit roll. So normally the Plague Bearers hit on 4s, now I'm hitting on 3s, and they are within 6 inches of the Demon Prince, so now they reroll 1s to hit as well. So it's basically reroll everything. Right, rolling to hits. Now remember, 2s are exactly what I can't reroll, so Mr. Beard should be happy to know I rolled 3 2s.
Hooray!
However, I did roll 2 6s. So that generates me 2 additional attacks. Now these can't generate you additional attacks on top of this. So this is new Demon, Chaos Demon Codex stuff here. I rolled a 1, I rolled a 3, so that's a hit because of the Scrivener. I rolled a 1, the Chaos Demon Prince ability does kick in. I rolled a 3. So in the end, I get those 2 additional hits, which is pretty cool. So I've got 9 hits if my calculations are correct. 3, 6, 9, sorry, they're not. There's 10 hits, bad maths. Right, okay, so 10 hits. Now, I've reduced your toughness, as you know.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm +1 strength, I'm strength 5, wounding you on 3s, and I'm adding 1 to my wound rolls because of the power as well. So I'm
At least you only got 11 in, I suppose.
So
So I'm winning the odd 2s.
Great.
Okay. But the rolls of 6 can cause additional damage here as well.
Yeah. But bear in mind, I do have one of these Deathwatch is a space wolf, so he is probably deadly.
Well,
in
I'm
combat.
doomed. What is his name? Leonidas or?
Leonidas Wolfbane.
That's pretty epic.
It's a cool name, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And lo, his name forevermore.
To wounds. Right, now I reroll failed wounds because these are plague weapons. I did get one roll of a 6 here. It's worth noting. Okay, so here we go. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 wounds, Mr. Beard. Plus 1 is a 6, so you'll need to roll for that separately because that could kill you outright, which is pretty nasty. In fact, that weapon would be doing 3 damage with my Locus of Virulence in there as well.
Yes.
So
good.
pretty nasty. Okay, right.
I get
cool.
my full armor save, don't I?
You get your full armor save,
Yes.
sir. That's the advantage. There's no minuses. It's very easy to wound, but actually you do get your full armor save.
Okay.
So you haven't included that one though, have you?
No, I've
Doing
got
that separately,
it's
yeah.
9 plus that, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so this is
Lovely.
the 9. 4, 5, 6. Yes.
So we failed 4 by the looks
Yes.
of it. Okay, so that is 2 dead bikers.
Yes.
Of that, there is nothing that he can do, rather unfortunately.
very
And
sad.
now the save for the... Well, in fact, you've only got 4 bikes, Mr. Beard.
Well, 2 wounds apiece.
Yes, 4 wounds, yes, of course. 2 dead bikers, yes. And then your
This
next
is for the
save.
6.
Yeah.
No! I'm going to use a command point.
Yeah.
Yay!
Yay, you got a 5. Okay, because that's fair enough, because it would have actually killed another biker because of the additional damage I do on the roll to wound of a 6.
Yeah, so I'm
fair
down
enough.
to-
2 bikers killed.
I've got 5 command points left. Oh no, I thought that was a white scar. It's not a white scar.
Well, the good news is you will actually get to hit me back, so let's see what happens.
Yes.
Here we go. It is the Deathwatch veterans. The Space Wolf we just found out, Leonidas Wolfbane, is in fact a sergeant. Of course he is.
Of course he is!
So, rolling to hit.
Leonidas Wolfbane.
Now, I am unfortunately still over 20 models, so that does mean a -1 to hit me, and it's not just the shooting phase, people, it's all hit rolls, just to clarify. So, here we go.
So, needing 4s. Right.
Right, well, you've rolled 1s and 2s there for the most part, so at least there's some consolation in that.
Yeah.
But, alright, he's got 1 hit. And can he wound? Your
and-
strength, sir?
Strength 4.
Okay, so 4's to wound.
Hey!
It's a wound on a 5. Lovely stuff. 5+ invulnerable save for We Are Demon. We roll a 3. Disgustingly resilient. We roll a 4. He does indeed, of course. Leonidas takes the head of one of the plague bearers. Perfect. So he's destroyed another demon. So we've got a 28 plague bearer blob there. And that is it. That's the end of the combat. Now, we would just go straight into the morale phase. Again, just little clarifications here. If anyone's wondering why I didn't take morale for those flesh hounds in the last turn, it's because they were within 6 inches of the Bloodthirster, and he's a greater demon, so they used his leadership of 10, meaning they couldn't fail. So, now, you, sir, I believe it's possible for you to fail. You had 4 bikes at the beginning. Your leadership 9, you say?
Leadership 9.
Okay, and you can obviously re-roll a failed one.
Yep.
So, D6. Right, okay, that's not what you wanted to roll.
No,
because 6 plus 4 would be 10, meaning you lose 1, so you want to re-roll that
So
right
I'm
now.
going to re-roll.
Yeah. 5, but you know what, that's okay, because 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is
the
exactly
button.
what you needed. You just didn't need to roll that 6, perfect. So they survive, of course. Leonidas isn't going to have one of his men flee. So that is actually the end of the demon's turn 1. Very interesting. I do get secure objective 4 for 1 point. I haven't activated defend objective 6. I never got there in the end, so that's that. And I haven't completed advance either because I still have units in my deployment zone. So these 2 we know I'm going to have to get rid of next turn. So fair enough. But I do have 1 victory point to Joe's 2, and it's Deathwatch turn 2 coming up next. I'm liking this, people. Some good cards here for Mr. Beard. Advance, he's actually already got it, as I'll show you in a moment, at the end of his movement phase. Scour the Skies, definitely possible, because he could take out the Bloodthirster this turn. you know, with the right bit of luck, he could do that. He got priority orders received. Mission critical objective, rolled a 1 for that. Classic beard. Incidentally, the objective 1 is actually by one of my big blobs of plague bearers. So let me pan up here for you guys. As we can see, his bikers have fallen back here from the blob of plague bearers that were no doubt about to absolutely slaughter him. Meanwhile, over here we see the full array of Deathwatch. Very, very cool. All of their frag cannons brought to bear against a big blob of plague bearers here. Absolutely epic stuff. The Watchmaster and Artemis is also ready to, well, to be honest, you're actually getting a lot of automatic hits here, so you know the rerolls to hit are not really relevant, are
Yeah,
they?
not really.
But you know, there we go. It's
If they decide to go into combat, that would be useful.
Yes, that's true, and you may well in the end end up charging something in just to finish it off if required. Right, now meanwhile over here the 2 Black Stars have flown off after deploying their cargo, so that's nice. But more importantly, they are unleashing their cluster bombs, and both of them are doing it on the same target unit, which is the big blob of plague bearers here. So talk us through how this works.
Okay, so the Black Star cluster launcher is done in the movement phase. When you move over a unit or units, you select one, and then each Corvus is able to roll a d6 for each model in the unit, up to 10.
Yep.
On the roll of a 6, it takes a mortal wound. So in total, because they've both flown over the plague bearer units, there's 20 dice being thrown here.
Awesome, I like everything about that. So let's see what he can do then, folks. Can he, yeah, like that, that's 2. This was your 20 dice?
Yep.
Yep, fair enough, of course, you just do it all at once. So fair enough. Shane, I would have liked you to have gotten a few more. Deserved a couple more there, but he's got 2. Now these are mortal wounds, so the invulnerable save doesn't work, but they do still get disgustingly resilience. I do make 1, so he kills 1. Shane deserved a couple more. I'll just remove one of these plague bearers here. There you go. He's killed 1. Now that marks the end of the movement phase. He's got no psychic phase, but he's got a considerable shooting phase, and I'm sure many of you will agree at home that this turn is critical for him to stay in the game, if you like. He must remove this blob of plague bearers, I suspect, because with the way he's deployed here, if he doesn't, or he doesn't even shoot them, they're going to charge him. And I mean, to be fair though, actually you would get so much Overwatch that maybe it wouldn't be a concern. But so it's an interesting one, isn't it? But he's also got this big unit to contend with, so really removing one of the units would be a big bonus. Plus, ideally, for Scour the Skies, he wants to either kill this Bloodthirster, or he could have this Corvus Black Star take on that Prince. He is nearest to it. So it's a couple of options, team. Let's see what he does. It's the shooting phase coming up next. Here we go. He's opening with the Corvus Black Star, the one that's just hovering above that building there. He's opening up against the Bloodthirster. So let's see if he's trying to get this Scour the Skies objective here. So here we go.
I'm in rapid fire range,
Right.
so 12 shots.
Okay, so it's the Hurricane Bolter now.
Miss, miss, miss.
Okay. You don't get the reroll ones because he's not. He's a flying
He's a flyer.
target.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Rolling to wound 5s now. Yeah, he's forced a couple of saves there. 1 does go through, sir. That leaves me with 11 wounds left on that Bloodthirster.
Okay. And now 12 more shots now. This is coming from the Twin Assault Cannon.
Sure thing.
Hitting on 4s.
Right, yes, because you did move.
Yep.
Sadly, you can't reroll those 1s. That would have been helpful. Okay, but he's got 6 hits, so actually that's average. Then it's 5s to wound.
Yep.
He's got 2 more wounds. Now this is -1, so 4 up saves required here. Another wound goes through. That leaves me with 10 wounds, sir. 10 wounds.
Okay.
And finally,
and then we're going to go for the Black Star rocket launch with the Corvid warhead. So this is hitting on 3s this time because
cool.
it
This is a +1.
+1 to fly. So 2d6.
8.
8.
Okay, very nice. I like that.
8. So we are hitting on 3s.
Okay.
Okay. So 5 hits.
And the strength is 6. Is
Strength
that right?
is 6. Yeah, so 5
5s
and 6 again.
2 more wounds,
Yep.
and it's a -1, isn't it?
This is.
Or is it not?
It is -1. Yeah.
Okay. I do save both times, unfortunately. Apologies, Mr. Beard. But you did take 2 wounds. Disappointing. Perhaps you could have deserved a couple more there, but 10 wounds left. we open up with the veterans. So the far units here, all the way up there on the road, are going to be firing the 2 frag cannons at the Bloodthirster, and they're firing crypt clearer rounds from the shotguns into the Plague Bearers. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay, what are the frag cannons firing?
Okay, so the frag cannons are firing their shell rounds. So this is the solid rounds. It is within half range.
Yep.
So instead of being strength 7, AP -2, they're strength 9, AP -3.
Oh, that's very nice.
Right.
Damage 2?
Damage 2.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir. So they're in 6 inches of the Watchmaster.
Yep.
So they are re-rolling any failed hits.
Fantastic.
And they have 2 shots each.
Yep, and they're assault
Okay.
weapons, so no minus
Yep.
for moving. Okay,
So
cool.
3s.
Okay, can re-roll those 2
Re-rolling.
2s just as well. Okay, fantastic. 4 hits.
Okay, and it's strength 9, so I'm moving on 3s.
It's 3 to wounds. Nothing I can do about that, sir. He's got 3 wounds.
I'm going to use a
6.
command point.
Yes, okay, no problem.
Good.
And that pays off. Great. Okay, so you've got 4 command points left, if my
Yep.
calculations are correct.
That is correct.
But that is a full house of wounds on that prince.
Yep.
Prince, Bloodthirster even. Perhaps he is a prince of Bloodthirsters, who knows? Right, now, rolling to save. So, it's -3, but I do
-3.
have, I gave him that relic.
Yep.
Armour of Scorn, so 4+ invulnerable save, new to the Chaos Daemons Codex. Look, I passed 2, that is bang on the average there. I failed 2, that would be 4 damage.
Yep.
Do I wish to use a command point? Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this, guys, but at the beginning of this phase, I told Mr. Beard off camera, I think I mentioned it, but if I didn't, I'll mention it now. I've already spent another 2 command points this turn to give this big unit of Plague Bearers Warp Surge, okay? And it has to be done at the beginning of the phase. It lasts for a phase. So that unit's got this in the shooting phase. Haven't used a reroll for... Just thinking if I can get... That would be 4 wounds down on that Bloodthirster, and he would only have 6 left. Be nice to try and keep him alive. Bit of a risk. You've got plenty more firepower left too. Let me have a think. You know what? Based on everything, I've only got 2 command points left as it is, so I'm not going to re-roll. I'm going to keep it as it is. He's got 6 wounds left. That's how the cookie crumbles. Crypt clearer rounds coming up next against the Plague Bearers.
Yep, so these are Assault 2.
Yes.
They're Strength 4.
Yes.
The AP doesn't really matter because they are Plague Bearers.
Okay.
Crypt Clear allows me to re-roll wounds.
Okay.
So,
and you have to roll to hit, do you, or is it?
yes,
auto?
they're Assault 2. They're
Okay.
not auto hits.
Okay, great.
Okay, right. So we've got 6 shots from the 3 guys.
Okay. So
I'm
now this is a -1 to hit me because it is a big Plague Bearer unit.
Yep. I am re-rolling.
You're re-rolling those misses,
Yep.
but you can't re-roll the 3s.
Yep. So
okay.
needing 4s.
Okay, can't re-roll the 3, so that is a miss, and then can re-roll the 1. Misses anyway. Okay, cool. So 4 hits.
Yep.
And you can re-roll failed wounds here, and it's strength 4, toughness 4, so 4s. Re-rolling the 2 failed wounds. 3 wounds in total. Great. Now, because of Warp Surge, this unit now has a 4+ invulnerable save. And then, of course, they've got Disgustingly Resilient on top of that. Right, that's not a good start, is it? So I failed all 3, and then Disgustingly Resilient. We make 1, but 2 Plague Bearers are destroyed. Right, team, let's do this. We've got the second Deathwatch unit, and they are targeting the same as before. 3 crypt clearer rounds into the large blob of Plague Bearers, 2 frag cannon solid shells into the Bloodthirster, who is no doubt furious right now. He still hasn't struck yet. He may be killed before he strikes. So what are we firing first?
So we'll do the frag cannons first.
Okay.
So another 4 shots. Hitting on 3s.
Yes.
Re-rolling the miss. Very good.
Okay.
Right, and this is strength 9, so 3s.
That's 3 wounds. Fantastic.
3 wounds.
Okay, so sorry, what was this?
So this is the crit clear, so
Crit
it's AP -3, but you get your frog guns on.
Okay, or you mean the frag cannon rather, the solid shell, yes?
Yes.
Yes, not
What
the
did I
crit
say?
clear, yes, that's why I was
Sorry.
confused. Okay, invulnerable saves, right, he fails to... Right, now, that would actually be another 4 wounds down
Yep.
on the Bloodthirster and leave him with only 2 wounds left. Again, you know what, I'm just going to take it as it is. It's a tough one, but you know, I don't want to. I've only got 2 command points left. I want to show you guys some more of the cool stratagems if I can. So there we go. 2 wounds down. or rather he's got 2 wounds left, and you've still got the crypt clearer rounds to fire at the plague bearers.
Yep. So 6 shots. This is -1, isn't it?
Yes,
so
this is now -1.
Re-rolling.
Can't re-roll the 3s, so
No,
2 have
get
missed
rid of that.
definitely. And then those other 3 can re-roll. Okay, so 3 hits in total, and then it's force to wounds re-rolling, crypt clearer. Okay, can re-roll 2 of those. It's got 2 wounds there, folks. 1 invulnerable save passed, 1 failed. Disgustingly resilient. That also fails, so we have killed another. And now the warlord himself, the Watchmaster, fires at the Bloodthirster. Can he finish off this demon of Khorne, this greater demon of Khorne, before he descends upon them in the most horrifying manner you can imagine? Right, let's see. He's sitting on 2s, obviously.
1 shot only.
1 shot only, because he's not in rapid fire range. Quite. He hits, of course.
He's using a Hellfire round.
Oh, that's very nice.
He's wounding on 2s.
Extraordinary.
If I roll a 1,
Yes.
remember his Warlord trait is Bane of Monstrosities. He can re-roll failed wounds.
That's exciting. He didn't roll a 1.
It's a wound.
Okay, what's the damage? Is it just 1, I'm assuming? I could be wrong.
It's damage 2, actually.
That's very interesting. Is that because he's got a special...
It's his Guardian Spear.
It's his Guardian Spear. The Spear of Guardians.
Ah, the Spear of Guardians!
That means that I must make this invulnerable save to survive. Sorry. Right, here we go. Some more interesting... Target priority has been forced here because that Bloodthirster still flies above
Very
him.
stressful.
This Corvus Blackstar, now the second one, will fire the assault cannons and the hurricane bolters into the big blob of plague bearers.
Yeah.
But it's going to fire its Corvid warheads, its missile systems, into the Bloodthirster in a final effort to finish him off and scour the skies and remove the greater demon from the battlefield.
That's what I'm going to do first.
Okay.
So
you're doing
2...
the Corvid warheads first, are you?
Yeah, so 2 Black Rocket launchers.
Stressed.
Oh, man.
The stress.
So it's...
Okay.
There's 2 of these, so 2d6 shots.
Yes. 8 shots.
Not bad.
Nice. That's absolutely fine. Wouldn't complain with that. Now you ignore the -1 for moving because you get +1.
So this is hitting on 3s.
He's at the target of the fly keywords. Right.
That's
Cool.
alright.
That's a great roll.
That's
okay.
alright. So I need more of that.
Right.
To
So
wound.
now it is 5s to wound now.
It is 5 to wound.
And is it damage 1 or 2?
It's damage 1.
Okay. All right.
It's damage
so
1.
You want at least.
Ah!
Oh no! Only 1 goes through on a 6, which means he's guaranteed to survive. Before he even gets to roll his save. Now it's -1, so it's a 4-up save anyway. I make the save anyway. The missiles have failed to bring that Bloodthirster down. Frustrating stuff. Let's see if the assault cannons and the hurricane bolters, which are in rapid fire range, can do any better. It's the plague bearers.
Right, so assault cannon first.
Okay.
So this is +1 to hit because they're ground targets with the Auspex. So 3s. Okay, not a very good roll.
Because it's a -1 to hit as well, by the way.
Of course,
so that means that it would, you'd needed 4s, but luckily all of the ones that you rolled. Do you get that to re-roll that 1 that you rolled because it's a ground target? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So just re-roll that one. Okay. Fine. So all of those have hit, and then to wound is 3s. Okay, so he's looking at 5 wounds.
Yep.
Now I get the 4+ invulnerable save here. Oh dear. Right, so with a Lawrence luck there, classic. Did fail 1, disgustingly resilient. No, so you do claim a plague bearer. 1 is slain. So just remove this little guy. Okay.
Okay, and then the hurricane bolters in rapid
Sure.
fire range.
You can re-roll those ones, sir.
Yeah, a lot of ones there. So those definitely
Just
missed.
as well. The only thing you can't re-roll are the 3s because
Yep.
it is a -1 to hit me. Okay, so it's a 2 and 1/1 there as well. Okay, so still that is 6 hits, then 4s to wound. Okay, that's not bad. So 4 wounds, 4s to save. Do save 2. Disgustingly resilient. Do save another. So that's another plague bearer killed. So let's just remove this little guy. Okay, cool. That's the Corvus finished. Bloodthirster still standing. Has taken some casualties from this plague bearer unit, but they're still very much alive. pressure is on. Okay, we're moving on now. Desperate times, desperate measures. One frag cannon targets the Bloodthirster, the other now goes into the Plague Bearers, and the shotguns quick clear rounds again into the Plague Bearers also. So what are we doing first?
Okay, so we're going to do the shell round first into the Bloodthirster. So 3s. That's cocked dice.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep,
both
2
hits.
hits.
And then 3's to wound. Yes.
Yes, sure is. Strength 9. Lovely stuff.
2
What
wounds.
he wanted. 2 wounds.
Come on!
4s.
Yay!
Right, now, it's damage 2,
Yep.
which would mean that he would be slain.
Yes.
Again, the temptation of of rolling, using that command point to reroll is rampant here, but you know what? I'm going to let you have it. Let's do it. I'll keep the 2 command points I've got left remaining in the force. The Bloodthirster is slain. I'm just going to check to see if he goes down in a wrath. Furious Wrath on a roll of a 6. No, he doesn't, so he doesn't kill anyone around him. But the Bloodthirster is destroyed. Well earned. It had to happen. Let's keep this rolling though, because we'll finish that unit's fire into the Plague Bearers.
Okay, so the second frag cannon finally is going to use a frag round. So it's 2d6 hits.
Yes, and this is what we'd been wanting to do exactly for a while. So 2d6 shots into the Plague Bearers. 5, 6, 7. That's the average. Nice. And the strength set?
Strength 6.
Okay, so it'd be wounding on 3s, and these are auto hits.
These are auto hits, great.
So he's ignoring that -1 to hit, which is very cool. So he's wounded with 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds there. Lovely, okay. So I've got to make 6 saves. Now, I do have the 4+ invul. Warp Surge. We fail 4, okay. So then we've got Disgustingly Resilient. We make another, but we fail 3 in total. So 3 Plague Bearers there have been slain just from the 1 frag cannon. That's nice. And then we've still got quick clear rounds.
Yep.
So let's just remove 3 Plague Bearers here.
So there's only 2 in the rest of these units because there's a Heavy Thunderhammer in there as well.
Copy that.
So hitting on 4s. Is there still 20 in there?
Right, so you've killed 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, there's still over 20. So
Brilliant.
This is still a -1.
So 4's to hit, re-rolling. Re-roll that miss. Very good.
Yeah, all hit, very good.
And I'm needing 4s.
It's got 2 wounds there.
2 wounds.
Okay, 4s. Make 1, Disgustingly Resilient. No, so you do kill another Plague Bearer. So let's just give it to that guy. Okay, cool. So that's not bad. That unit's just fired. He's denting this now. He's removed the Bloodthirster. This is getting interesting. So it's now Artemis that is firing using the Hellfire Extremis. What's he doing here? Hitting with his flamer against the Plague Bearers?
Yep. So he's going to do the bolt gun as well.
Yep.
But the flamer first. So it's D6.
Sure.
So
2.
Only 2. It automatically hits and it wounds on a 4+.
Great.
Okay. Cool.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
To save. 1 save, 1 fail. Disgustingly Resilient. No, does fail. So that now does bring them to 19 models left.
Hooray!
And that means that the -1 to hit is ignored.
Cool.
Now the bolter side of his shot. What round is he using?
So he's using the Hellfire again.
Great.
So this is rapid fire. So hitting on 3s.
Ooh.
Can we roll a 1 because he?
Yes, it's his own buff. Yes,
yep.
exactly.
There
Or
you
even
go.
the Watchmaster would give him that. Okay, cool.
Yep.
To wound.
To wound.
Oh, double 6.
There we
Very
go.
stylish. Oh, both failed. Disgustingly Resilient. 1 does pass, 1 does fail. So 1 more Plague Bearer killed. Let's remove this guy.
Okay.
Excellent work. Right, Beard, what are we doing next?
All right,
Take
it's
us
all
through
about
it.
the frag rounds now, my friends.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 more in this unit. So 2d6 shots. 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 shots.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
So
7.
is this the...
We're on this unit here.
This
now.
unit here,
Yep.
exactly, yes. And he's still got 1 more unit in his up his sleeve as well. Perfect. Yep. Okay, cool.
So we are winning on 3s. That's a cock dice.
Okay.
Cool. So
5 wounds.
5 wounds.
3, 4, 5. Let's see. 4s. Oh, okay.
What
Fine.
is your problem?
Sorry. Okay, they all save. Yay! Okay. Right.
Second one.
Yep.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Lovely. Good
7,
number.
8, 9.
3's to wound.
Yep. Cool.
Okay,
So
7 wounds.
Yep.
Just forcing the issue here. It's very nice.
If you could not save all of them again, that'd be great.
Okay. Well, there you go. It's come back round. So 2 pass, and we are looking at 5 failed, but we do have disgustingly resilient, of which we make 1. So that is another 4 plague bearers destroyed. You're getting through them here. Okay, moving on next. What have we got, Beard?
Cool. So 2 more shotguns with their Hellfire rounds.
Yep.
So this unit's still just in range of the Watchmaster.
Okay.
So they are rerolling misses. Luckily, that's better.
Great. Okay.
And then wounding on 3s. No, sorry, wounding on 4s.
Winning off 4s. Yes.
Yes. So 2 wins.
Those have both saved. Okay.
Okay.
So.
Right. So the Heavy Thunder Hammer is going to use his grenade.
Okay. What's he throwing? A frag or a crack?
Frag.
Okay. So D6 shots. 4. Rolling to hit. Rerolling that 2. No. Okay. And then to wounds is actually 5s.
Yeah.
1 wounds there. Discussing your resilience. Yes, makes it. Okay.
Okay, so let's just go on to the last unit, yeah.
Just 1 more unit to fire.
I don't think I'm going to wipe them, that's a bit
Probably won't wipe
concerning.
them, Beard, but you know what? I mean, I've already lost 16.
Yep.
I do count as having leadership 10 because I am within 6 of the Great Unclean one, but
True.
I'm already looking at losing 6 here.
Okay.
I could spend my last 2 command points to auto pass the morale. That is an option. But if you're about to kill a whole bunch of them to save a few man unit, it might not be worth it. So let's have a look.
Okay, so
2 frag cannons.
Yep. So first one, nice. That's 9. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9 shots. So that
winning on
is
3s. So you're looking at 6.
Yes, 6 wounds.
6 wounds there. 4+ invulnerable. Failed 4. Disgustingly resilience. Did pass another 2. 2 are destroyed.
Okay.
Okay, let's get rid of these guys. There you go.
So same again. Oh.
Right, just 2 shots then. Okay. Happens. Right, okay, to wound. Just the 1 wound, okay. 4+ to save. Disgustingly resilience. Does make this disgustingly resilient. Okay, so just some crit clearer rounds.
Yep.
Of which there are just 2 shotguns left.
All hit.
Okay, all hits.
Just the 1
just
wound.
the 1 wound, but you're
Yep.
crit clearer, right? So reroll failed wounds.
Yes.
Okay. So 2 more wounds, so that's 3 in total. 2 saved because of the warp surge stratagem. Failed to disgustingly resilient. Gets 1 more plague bearer, and as the dust settles.
I'm just going to do what is last grenade on the.
Oh yeah, sorry, yes, of course, go for it.
So
Frag.
D6.
5.
Cool.
Yeah, all hit, lovely. And to wound. 3 wounds, and to save. Okay, 3 saves. Right. Is that all of the firepower on the board, Mr. Beard? I believe it is.
Is everything shot?
And a very interesting turn. Certainly did a tremendous amount of damage. Now, these guys have something called the Relentless Assault, I think. Something like that as a special rule.
Relentless Assault, yeah.
They can choose to charge back in.
Yeah.
Okay, is that something that you wish to do?
I may as well.
Well, I guess so.
I don't know what else they're going to do otherwise, because they're... Actually, you know what? They will die if I charge them in. I'm not going to kill the unit. You know what? I'm going to leave them there.
Fair enough.
I'm going to leave them there for now.
Just as an additional target for me to worry about.
Mm.
Okay, interesting. So, that marks the end of your turn then.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming none of these are charging, is that correct?
Assuming... Yes, but I need to think about that.
Okay, let him have a think. So, he's had a think about it, and as we pan over here, mission critical objective he didn't get. But he did get Scout of Skies because he destroyed the Bloodthirster. And he did get Advance because he's got nothing in his deployment zone anymore. So actually he's got 2 points this turn. That puts him on 4 points to the Chaos Demons 1 point. So that's actually a good effort. It's a good start. A very good start to have by the end of turn 2. And I've got a morale check to make. Now I've lost 19 Plague Bearers. than this blob in one turn. Now, I could spend those last 2 command points and just save these remaining 11. I could do that. Otherwise, I'm going to lose 9 of them and there'll be 2 left remaining. The question is that worth it? Because those 2 command points could be put on another big blob and give myself a +1 invulnerable save again. You know, there's definitely some more utility, I think. Ultimately, losing 1 unit of Plague Bearers is, I think at this point, acceptable. Don't forget, I've got a very large unit still right here. That's my dead pile over there, guys. So, you know what? I'm not going to auto-pass the morale. I'm going to roll a d6. I'm already losing 9 here regardless. I roll a 5. It would have been good. Now I've got a musician, which means that I can re-roll. So, yeah. Or an icon, rather. Because actually, if I roll a 1 here, I could get lucky. And reality will blink, and I'll regain models. So what I'm actually going to try and do now is roll a 1. No, it's a 5. So,
roll a 1.
What that means is that the unit is wiped out. Nothing I can do about it. Excellent work. Just a little addendum before I pick up this unit. I was mistaken there. You don't get to re-roll with the icon. I knew if you roll a 1, you're bolstered, you get d6 back. I thought it also let you re-roll. A failed morale, that's one of the heralds that does that, which I don't have on the board. So ignore that, but I rolled 2 5s anyway, so it doesn't matter. The unit's still destroyed, but just as a point of reference, I couldn't have re-rolled that. Movement phase is complete. Some interesting plays here being made. The demons will have to hit back hard this turn. Some interesting cards drawn. Big Game Hunter, possible if I destroy a Corvus. Master the Warp, very possible to get 3 powers off for the D3 points, which is good. And then Secure Objective 3, which is actually this one right here. So I'm all but guaranteed that one, which is great. And in fact, just need to finish. There we go. Now I'm guaranteed it. Just need to shuffle that herald to make sure that I'm within 3 inches after these Plague Bearers move off. But the play is this. Prince has gone for one of the Corvus. He's gone Corvus hunting, looking to get a smite off first. His other power is a bit risky. It's a 7-inch aura. But on only the 2 units there, on a 4-up, one of them would take D3 mortal wounds. I could get lucky and have both of them take D3 mortal wounds, but the standard smite will probably be better. The Great Unclean One can try and smite one of these units over here, try and whittle them down a bit. I still need to move that Fleshhounds unit. I'll do that momentarily. And the rest of these Plague Bearers here have gone to within 1 inch of the forward unit of veterans there. So the idea is, look, I know they're going to swallow some Overwatch. That's okay. The idea is that they should swallow it. Especially if I do end up spending 2 command points to give them the +1 invulnerable. They should kill them in combat, and then they should be able to consolidate into another unit, forcing it, stopping it from firing next turn, and then we can slowly start tying everything up and ruining it. But we kind of need to get rid of at least one of the Corvus as well. He's still got a lot of firepower on this battlefield. So Grotty's looking on, he's very pleased. In fact, Grotty needs to really move to get into the action here, so he's going to come up here now and have a little look at what's going on. We'll see how this pans out. I'll finish moving those Fleshhounds, and then I'll get back to you in the Psychic phase coming up next. Okay, Psychic phase. So I'm going to kick off with the easy thing, the thing I know I'm going to do. He's going to cast Smite on the nearest Corvus Blackstar, as you do. So I'm actually hoping for a massive power up here. Right, that's only a 4. That would be a failed cast. And if I use a command point to re-roll it, that would mean that I couldn't get my +1 invuln. So that is nothing I can do about that. Might just have to wear it and have one of these guys cast Smite instead, but then they would have to cast it on a 6-up because we're using the beta rules. Let me have a think. Okay, so next up, this one will indeed cast Smite as well on the Corvus. That's the one with Shriveling Pox, because I don't really need to reduce the toughness of these Marines because they're already toughness 4. So that's fine. So let's go for Smite. 6, 7, 8 does go off. So it's D3 mortal wounds on that Corvus Blackstar, and it is 2 mortal wounds. So I've at least started to scratch it, to dent it, and hopefully the Prince can get in there and ruin it. Great Unclean One now. He's going to cast Smite, and it's going to be on this unit here. So, well, This is the nearest one to him, just. See if we can get that off. No, it's a 5. And remember, we're using the beta rule, so that's a failed casting, which means I've only cast 1 power this round. Still got the opportunity to cast 2 more powers, but really I want 3 to go off to get this Master of the Warp for D3 points. So that's interesting. Okay, so what we're going to do now is the Miasma of Pestilence. So give him a -1 to hit, because why not? 4, 5, 6, 7. That does go off, sir. I believe it was a casting roll of 7. 6, in fact, sorry. That was required. So that is the second power that's gone off successfully, so that's good. The Great and Clean one is finished now. The Prince is done. One of the Rotbringers there is also done. I've got 1 more left. Let's see what I do. Final power of the turn, I'm going to cast Virulent Blessing on the big Plague Bearer units, and that's the one where you add 1 to the wound rolls, okay? So, pretty cool. 6, ooh, that doesn't do it. I needed a 7, so I could re-roll that 1, but again, I'd lose the 4-up invuln. Let me have a think. Yeah, you know what, I'm going to wear it. It's a tough one, because I wanted the D3 for that Master of the Warp. But in actuality, I'll have Objective 3. I've still got Master of the Warp, so that will put me on 3 points. And if I'm lucky and get Big Game Hunter, that will put me on equal points with the Deathwatch army anyway, in terms of the mission. So I'll keep it as it is. The Psychic phase is done. Didn't do too much damage, just slightly scratched the Corvus Blackstar there. We'll need some new paintwork at the end of this game. Let's see if I can do more damage in the charge, well, ultimately the fight phase. I've got the charge phase coming up next, of which I will of course weather some Overwatch, but I've got a couple of little tricks up my sleeve here. For example, this unit here is not in range of the frag cannons, deliberately so. So if they make their charge, could be good, could be good. Other problem is that I will need to declare the Warp Surge in the charge phase. It only lasts for a phase, remember, so I'd need to declare it on this unit at the beginning of the phase if I'm going to do that and spend my last 2 command points. Stressful stuff, folks. Let me have a think. Right, it's the charge phase. We're going to do what we set out to do. Warp Surge. Sorry, it's been very samey with the stratagem, but it's such a good one on this blob. You just can't not do it. So I've now got a 4-up invulnerable save for this phase, okay? And then guess what? They're going to declare a charge against this unit of Deathwatch. Actually, I'll switch the order. I've done Warp Surge, I had to declare that at the beginning of the phase. Actually, I'll do my Great Unclean one into this unit of Deathwatch first. So he will get to Overwatch. If you'd like to get those dice ready, Mr. Beard.
I would like to.
Yeah.
So I'll do the first frag cannon.
Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7 shots. So 7 hits, because it's Overwatch. Strength is 6.
Yeah.
And toughness is 7. So he's wounded twice. Fair play. I failed both. And I get... Oh, what's the minus on it, by the way?
Minus... Ooh, I can't remember now.
Out of curiosity.
I think it is... Hang on.
I'm just going to assume I failed both of those. I don't think I've got a 3-up save, but... I'll do my Disgustingly Resilient. No, they both failed as well, so it would be 2 wounds through.
It's -1.
Okay, cool. So I just want to check if he's got a 3-up save. I'm just curious. Yeah, so he doesn't have a 3-up save. He's got a 6-up save, in fact. So he's lost 2 wounds. He had the additional wounds because of his Warlord traits. So they're normally 18. He had 19 wounds at the beginning of the game. Okay, here we go. The second frag cannon.
Second one.
Nice. 9 hits. Can you get the wounds? I can see 3, 4. Ooh, it's a good one. Yep. It's 5 wounds. Okay. 5 wounds. 5s. That's 1 save. And Disgustingly Resilient. Okay, that's all but 1, in fact, at the end of that. So, fair enough. He's now down to 16 wounds. What other Overwatch do you have, Mr. Beard?
So we've got the 3 shotguns.
3 shotguns, okay.
There's no minus to hit him, is there?
There's no minus to hit... no, there is. There is. But it's unmodified on 6s, remember? There is a minus to hit him because I cast it, Miasma of Pestilence.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter because it's unmodified in Overwatch. So 6s to hit.
Oh, of course, sorry.
Yes. 1 hit.
I can re-roll because of the water.
Yes, you can, sir. Yes, you can. 2 hits, very nice.
2, and they are wounding on 2, so I'm using the Hellfire. No, I'm not. I'm using the Crit Clearer, sorry.
Crit clearer.
Cool, 2 wounds.
Is that wounding on a 2+, is it? The crit clearer? It's not. I thought crit clearer is strength 4, reroll wounds.
Am I thinking of the other thing?
I think Hellfire is the 2+ to wound. Do they have Hellfire rounds? The shotguns,
Oh no,
Mr.
sorry,
Beard?
sorry, give me reroll failed wounds.
Right, okay, so they would have, what did you roll there, a 4 and a 5?
Yeah.
So a 5 would have wounded,
Yeah.
so 4 can re-roll.
4.
No, so 1 save. Disgustingly resilient, no. So it does take a wound, he's got 15 left. And then, assuming that's your forgive me, sorry, I rolled a 4 and a 2 here, so that's a 6. That will actually get me into combat, if my pre-measuring is accurate. But nonetheless, is that all of your Overwatch from that unit is, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah. Can I do a heroic intervention with my Warlord?
Well, yeah. Yes, potentially. If he's within 3 inches of me when I arrive, with that roll, it's extremely unlikely, because I have to go this way, and in fact, your Warlord is over here, so I suspect he won't be able to, but let's measure it up and see what happens. Right, now this big unit of Plague Bearers will charge this unit of... in fact, we may as well go for a multi-charge, why not? We'll declare a charge against both these targets so that we can hit both the targets. No, no need to not do that. Question is, Overwatch-wise, what have you got in range? Because your frag cannons aren't in range for the auto
Frag cannons
hitting.
aren't. The shotguns are 17 inches, so they are...
Cool. Right, so 6 is to hit then. Crit clearer again, is it, sir?
Yep.
Okay. No hits.
Re-rolling.
And can re-roll. No hits. Okay, fantastic. So that's all of the Overwatch. What about the frag cannon solid shells? You can still do those though, right?
Yeah, they could.
Cool.
So those are 2 apiece.
2 hits, very nice. Re-rolling. No. Okay, so to wound.
Strength
2
7.
at this
Yep.
point. Oh yeah, because you're not in half range. So strength 7, still wounded anyway. Failed 2. Disgustingly resilient. Failed 2. So 2 Plague Bearers killed. Right, now to make a charge. 5, that will fail the charge. I've got no command points there, so they cannot make it in. They will make it into the bikers though. However, you also need to do the Overwatch with your bikers because I did declare on both. So
Okay, so they are in rapid fire range.
Okay.
I am using Hellfire this time.
yeah.
No rerolls, just the 1.
Okay.
Wounding on 2s, 1 wound.
Okay, so save.
Very good.
Okay, 1 save. And incidentally, that 5 becomes a 6 because of the +1 inch to charge with the musician. Right, next what we're going to do, so you can see this is how it sort of ended up after I've moved. Haven't piled in, of course, yet, but we'll see what happens when we go into the fight phase. Big Blob now will engage the forward unit, so he's going to get all of his Overwatch goodness here, but I do have the 4-up invuln on this unit for this phase.
Cool, so frag cannon number 1. 6, 7,
8
8.
shots, very nice. 2 wounds. Okay, so he's looking at 5 wounds.
Yep.
Saving. 2 save, disgustingly resilient. 2 more save, so 1 drops. Nasty stuff, okay, so 1 Plague Bearer killed. The second frag cannon set. 4 and 4, very good. Okay, so you're looking at 6 wounds.
Yep.
4, 5, 6. So 4s. Okay. 3 failed. And wow, extraordinary. Okay, so only 1 is killed. Pretty lucky on my part there. Okay, still got crit clearer rounds incoming, I suspect.
Yep.
So 2 shotguns this time. You've got a.
Yeah, they're
heavy
re-rolling
thunder
1s
hammer.
because of Artemis.
Yeah. So re-roll that 1. 1's already a hit.
Yep.
So just a 1 hit and just a wound.
Oh, is it 4 to hit then?
Is
Oh,
it?
because there's over there's more than 20, isn't there?
Yes. It's unmodified in Overwatch. 6s.
Oh, of course, yeah, sorry.
No wounds,
no wounds.
but it can re-roll because it's crit clearer.
Yep.
No, okay, and then do you want to do the frag grenades?
Yep.
D6 shots, 2. 1 hit, and you can re-roll that 1 because of Artemis. 1's a wound, and the other one is also a wound. Very nice. Rolled 1 save on a 6 there. Disgustingly resilient. Also makes it on a 6. Stylish. Okay. They literally cannot fail the charge, but we're going to roll up anyway to try and get as many in, near to the enemy as possible. So let's do that now. Right, this is how it's going down then. So I actually just rolled my charge off camera there. I actually rolled a double 6. Now it doesn't matter that much that I rolled a double 6 because there's only so far I could move, right, within that vicinity. But it did mean I could pile in as many things as I can, because don't forget I get the +1 inch as well. So I technically had up to a 13-inch charge. But in this instance, most of the figures actually only moved about 6-7 inches. So we're definitely going to be able to get quite a lot of attacks against the target unit. And then afterwards, if we wipe it out, we could even potentially consolidate into some other units to at least tie them up. Granted, they'll hit me, I'll just have to live with that, but at least I won't be suffering the shooting, right? So this is why you have to make those life choices. Now, he just mentioned, Mr. Beard, a heroic intervention, is that correct?
Yes.
Right, you must do it now then, sir. Artemis II does a heroic intervention, so he goes straight in, piles in 3 inches here, right into the combat with me. Now, because I didn't declare a charge against him, I can't hit him, but he can hit me. So that's very nasty, but very cool. So that is the end of the charge phase, except... Oh, no, it's not. It's nowhere near the end of the charge phase. Fleshhounds and the Prince. So next up, let's do the Fleshhounds. I don't know if they're going to survive this Overwatch, quite frankly, but if they do, it would be incredible. Let's just see if they can. So,
right, frag cannon 1.
10 hits. You know, see, that's kind of what I didn't want. Right.
What's their toughness?
4.
4, okay.
Yeah,
Just a wound on 3s.
3's the wound. Okay.
So you've got
6.
6.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 up in bonds. Do make 2, but I failed 4, so that is 2 of the Fleshhounds killed. There's only 1 left remaining. Second frag cannon. Oh, it's 9. We're feeling these Fleshhounds are dead. 4 wounds. Should still be enough. 5s. He does die. Only just, but there we go. The Fleshhounds failed their charge. Finally, we're going to go for the Prince into the damaged Corvus Black Star. So let Joe get some dice for that Overwatch. See if the Prince can get in. And now for the Prince. Corvus Black Star opening up.
Right, we'll do the assault cannon first.
Sure. 2 hits there.
2 hits.
To wound. A 2 and a 3, no. Fails to wound the Mighty Demon Prince. Okay.
The Hurricane Bolter.
Sure.
Rapid fire. 12 again.
2 more hits.
2 again.
5's to wound this time.
1
1 wound's there. Okay, let's get a save set. Demon Prince does have a 3-up save. Don't know what that is, so I'm just going to re-roll it for you. 4. Okay, cool. So
Okay.
that's a save.
And then 2d6 for the rocket launcher, the Corvid
Yeah.
again.
1 hit.
7.
And you can re-roll. Yeah. Sorry, 7
It's
shots. Forgive me.
D6,
Yes,
yeah.
of course. Yeah.
And
And you can re-roll 1s on this instance because I've got the fly keyword. Oh no, sorry. That's you get a +1.
+1 to
but you
hit.
don't get modifiers. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
6. Yeah. Okay. 1 hit.
Just the
Okay.
1.
Can you wound, sir?
Yes.
That will be a wound. It's a -1, I believe. That's a 6 anyway, doesn't matter. I physically cannot fail the charge.
Shrugged
I'll roll
off.
anyway just quickly for you. There you go, it's an 8. In the Prince goes. Let's see what he can do. And so we are in the fight phase. I'm actually going to kick off with the Prince first. Try and destroy this Corvus if I can, why not? Beard could interrupt combat, but frankly, I don't think he would gain much by doing so. So I'm just going to kick off with the easy order. So here we go. Prince is attacking with 7 attacks. Now you've got the Infernum missile launcher, right?
So Infernum Halo Launcher, because you're a flying target, you are subtracting 1 to hit.
Very good. Okay, and you've also got the hard to hit rule though,
Oh
right?
no, sorry, ignore me. This is for the shooting phase. You can attack like normal.
Okay, no problem. And what about the hard to hit rule? I believe that only works in the shooting phase as well.
I think you might be correct.
But worth a check.
Hard to hit. Subtract 1. Yeah, shooting phase again.
Okay, no problem. So it's just always good to double check. So hitting on 2s, re-rolling the 1s. Okay, so lots of hits. Lots of hits. Okay, your toughness 7, is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, I'm strength 7. So I only get 2 wounds, okay, and that's -2 to your save.
Okay, so 5 ups.
Both fail, so it's 4 damage in total, because 2 go through of 2 damage. Corvus is very much alive and has got 8 wounds left. Right, let's do this. 20 attacks are in attacking range of the 5 Marines that I initially charged with this big Plague Bearer blob. So we are adding 1 to our hit roll here, hitting on 3s. No re-rolling of 1s this time because the Prince is not within the vicinity. So just removing these misses, but the rolls of 6s do explode into more attacks. So I've got 3 6s here, so let's just roll 3 additional attacks, and that's because the Scrivener's nearby. Cool. Okay, so we've got that many hits. We then wound. We're adding 1 to our wound roll. We're strength 5 because of the Rotbringer, and we're adding 1 to the wound roll because of the power. So all of a sudden we're wounding on. Well, actually, we're wounding on 2s, re-rolling 1s, or re-rolling wounds because of the plague weapon. Great. Okay, so 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This would have more damage, as with this, but it doesn't really matter because they're only 1 wound Marines anyway. So you're looking at 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 wounds. So.
Right, do 5 at a time.
Okay, that's 1 killed.
Right, 1 down.
And that's the other 4 hits. Okay, 4 ones. So the Marine unit has indeed been wiped out. Brutal stuff. Obviously, he's still got Artemis to strike in this phase. But before that, we have the Great Unclean One. That's coming up next. Right, team. Slightly out of sequence here. The crushing bulk of the Great Unclean One should have been done at the end of the charge phase. In summary, on the roll of a 4+, the unit that I'm within an inch with, so the unit I charged, takes a mortal wound. It does. So it's a 5. So one of the Marines is killed as he slobbers into combat. He's then got 5 attacks. Okay, it doesn't have any sort of slashing attack or anything. It's just a straight up 5 attacks with his bile. 5 attacks with his bile sword. So he hits on 2s, of course, being a Great Unclean One. So that's 4 hits. Now the strength of this weapon. In his hands, he's strength 7 and the bile sword is +1 strength, so he's actually strength 8 in this instance, so it is 2s. And that is 4 wounds, sir. The minus on it is 3, so it's 6s to save.
Oh dear.
It is 6s to save. Incidentally, you could have re-rolled the failed wounds there as well. No, they've all failed. The unit is, of course, destroyed. The Great Unclean One butchering them. He had little nurgling attendants to strike there as well after that, but it turns out he didn't need them. 1 swipe of his corrosive blade has decapitated all 5 of the Marines in 1 fell swoop. So that's him done. That's him done. We've then got this unit of Plague Bearers, and then finally Mr. Beard can attack back with Artemis. Let's see what happens. Right, this Plague Bearer unit now, they're hitting on 4s. They don't get the adding the 1 to hit here because the Scrivener's not within 6-inch range. So hitting on 4s, and obviously no powers in place either. So just remove some of these misses. Okay, not bad. And then we wounds. Again, we've got no Rotbringer within 6 inches, so they're strength 4 now, but they do get to reroll failed wounds, but you are toughness 5.
Yep.
So it's now 5s. Okay, well, extraordinary roll there. Okay, and then right, that means 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds have gone through. No bonuses here because no powers, and
So
they're
just
not within
straight
6
3 up.
inches. 3 outright. He's failed 2, so that means 1 biker's killed, but the other is still alive. Leonidas.
What a hero.
Of the Space Wolf chapter is still alive. Very good. Okay, now that's all of my attacks done. That's the fight phase done for me. The question now is, sir, who do you want to hit back with next? So you can hit with Artemis, or you can hit with the Spiker before I consolidate all over the place.
I'll do the biker.
Okay, Spiker.
So 2 attacks. No, he has 3 attacks, sorry, because
Okay.
he's the sergeant.
So 2 hits.
2 hits. They're just normal, they're toughness 4, right?
It's just toughness 4, yeah. No wounds, sadly. Okay, so he's unfortunately not been able to avenge. He's fallen comrades. Okay, and then Artemis himself.
Artemis.
And then, of course, finally the Corvus Blackstar can have a little go against the Prince.
So I just need to double check his.
Burn the Prince and his after jets. Who knows?
Okay, so he's got 4 attacks.
Okay.
Hit on 2s. Rerolling the 1.
Okay.
Using his own little bonus.
So it's a -1 to hit me because I am over 20. So actually the 2 will be a miss.
Oh yes, very good.
Yes.
Very good.
And it's just a normal power sword. Yep. So what's their toughness?
Their toughness is 4.
That's 4. So
Yes.
4s to wound.
2 wounds.
2 wounds.
Very nice. Now, I don't have the 4+ invulnerable save because this is a new phase.
Yep.
So these are 5 up invulnerable save. Okay, fine. That's that. Goodness gracious me. Right, so that's the end of the turn then, isn't it? Oh, no, it's not.
Oh, the
Your
Corvus.
sir. Your
Yeah.
Corvus. Let's see if the Corvus can smash that Prince.
So 3 attacks. Hitting on. Oh no, wait. He's on 8 wounds, which I think would probably mean. Oh no, he's still alright.
Yeah, thought it would be on the precipice.
Yep. So he is hitting on 6s.
Okay. It's got a hit.
Got a hit, and it is strength 8.
Yep.
It's a wound.
It's a wound.
Good lord.
Okay. The Prince
Yeah.
saves on a 6. Okay, fine. So that marks the end of the turn. Morale-wise, you've only lost 1 from the unit. Your leadership 9, so you cannot physically fail. Now what I'm going to do is the nasty thing, of course, and consolidate into as much as I can to lock him down. Which means that pretty much all of his Deathwatch veteran Marines shouldn't be firing next turn. But he does have 2 Corvus that can fire. Nothing I can
one
do.
Corvus that can fire because it's in combat.
But he's a flyer and he'll just fly off and then
I suppose
do the
so.
fire anyway.
Yeah.
So he can fire. So it's an interesting one, isn't it? I think victory point wise, well, I did get Harness the Warp, I did get Objective 3, I didn't get Big Game Hunter, so I'm just on 3 points. Beard is on the lead on 4. I'll do the consolidation off camera because it's a bit boring, and then we'll come back to you at the beginning of turn 3 for the Deathwatch. That's coming up next. However, before we move on, I must allow Mr. Beard to hit me because I have consolidated now, just at the end of my turn 2. So what we've done is I've consolidated with the Noble Demons and the Great Unclean One. Now the Great Unclean One had engaged this unit here. Beard has just started his movement phase for turn 3, but then I just remembered actually he could hit me back. So what he can do now is, this unit could only hit the Great Unclean One, so you want to start with that one?
Yep, so they have 2 attacks each.
Cool.
Hitting on 3s. They would have been in range of the Watchmaster.
And they're hitting on 4s, by the way, Mr. Beard, just because I've got a -1 to hit with my...
Oh yeah, sorry.
Pestilence.
So the 4... Hang on.
So you can't re-roll the 3s.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can re-roll the 1s and 2s. Very nice. Okay, so 5 hits, and then to wound me is 5s.
Yep.
He's got 3 wounds. Nicely done. To save. 1 save, disgustingly resilient. 1 save, so it's a wound down. He's got 14 wounds left. So that's that unit done.
Cool.
Okay, now you've got this unit. They can attack the Blade Bearers. So let's do those attacks.
Okay. So I have to do the Thunderhammer separately. 3, 4. So 2 attacks each for the rest of the guys.
Again, it's a -1 to hit me.
Yep. Re-roll those 2.
It's a good roll though. Yeah,
Great.
nice. Full house. Very good. Okay, to wounds.
So 4 to wound.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Went the other way. Okay, so just 2 wounds this time.
Yep.
Both failed, because remember, not 4+ invulnerable. Different phase. Disgustingly resilient makes 1. 1 fails, so one of the Blade Bearers was killed.
Okay.
Okay, next.
So the Thunderhammer.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm forgetting. Am I still hitting on 4s? Yes, because
Yes.
there's more than... So 4s, reroll
So that's a miss.
the
This is a -1. You couldn't have hit with that.
Oh,
one.
yes, sorry.
Yeah. Okay, so 1 hits, and then to wounds.
And then it's wounding on 2s.
It's a wound on a 3,
Yeah.
and the disgustingly resilient save, yes, does make that one, so he's alive.
Okay.
And you've got this unit here,
Yep.
same for 4, rinse and repeat against the Plague Bearers.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So they can reroll the 1 and 2. No, okay, and then to wound 4s. Of which he gets 3.
So 3 saves. And then disgustingly resilience. Makes another one is killed. But that does mark the end of...
No, got the Thunderhammer.
Oh, sorry, yep. Both hit, very nice. 2s. Yep, 2 wounds. Invulnerables. And disgustingly... Actually, forgive me, your Thunderhammer does multiple damage, doesn't it?
It does D6 damage.
Right, so you'll need to do this, although it sounds funny, one at a time.
Yeah.
So the first one, D6. Okay, so I need to make 3 disgustingly resilience. No, 1's dead. And the second one, how many damage? 4. And the next one, oh, he nearly survived. Okay, so he does kill 2. So whilst Beard continues moving in his turn 3, which is about to come up next, just to summarise, yeah, he killed about 6 Plague Bearers from that unit in the end. Morale's still not an issue. They count as leadership 10 next to the Great Unclean One. Here you can see that Beard is falling back in his movement phase. This unit here has already fallen forward in this instance towards that objective, but we'll come back to you at the beginning of turn 3 for Beard and the Deathwatch, and we'll see what he's drawn. It's an interesting one, folks. Right, now it is turn 3 for the Deathwatch. However, me getting ahead of myself, thinking about this, counting up the actual number of figures that he killed in the end after the combats, morale is an issue. He did kill 6 in that turn. Now, what happens is they are count as leadership 10, but I should be rolling for this anyway, because if you roll on the morale check and you roll a 1, you actually get to regenerate D6 Plague Bearers. So anyway, so let's do the morale check. So it's a 3. In that instance, I'm absolutely fine because they count as leadership 10 with the Great Unclean One, so no issues there. So morale's done. And now we move on to turn 3. He's got defend objective 1. So, okay, interesting. Secure objective 2 and secure objective 4. Right now, objective 4, Mr. Beards, I believe, was...
objective 4...
this one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was objective 4.
Right, so he's not getting that one. That is objective 1.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of this turn, he would be halfway towards... holding it. I would obviously need to destroy those Marines to ensure that he doesn't get that point. And objective 2, whereabouts is that, Mr. Beard? It's that one right there. He's already got that with the drop pod alone. So he's guaranteed 1 point at the end of this turn, putting him on 5 in total. Very nice. We can see movement-wise that both the Black Stars have gone into hover mode, flown away from the Prince. He's looking at trying to clear up, defend himself from, of course, all of this, because it could be very nasty if he gets charged, wipe out all of his grounds troops, potentially winning the game that way, and removing his scoring units from play. So look, let's see what happens. Movement's done. It's shooting coming up next. Curious to see what he targets. Let's see what he does. One addendum, folks. Both of these flyers passed over the Demon Prince. So they're actually going to be doing their cluster black launchers. I think that's what they're called.
Black Star cluster launcher.
There you go, Black Star cluster launchers. There
Tomato.
So right, it's just a single figure, so it's a single dice.
Yep, on a D6. Oh, D6.
To 6.
Hey!
Nice.
Mortal
So
wounds.
it's mortal wounds. Disgustingly resilient. No, he takes a wound. And the other one?
The other one didn't fly over him.
Oh, okay, of
Just when
course,
you
yeah,
fly
because he was
over.
out of position. So
Yeah.
he loses 1 wound, fantastic. And then it is the shooting phase coming up next. We're in the shooting phase, and it looks like it is the Plague Bearers that are going to be getting it in the neck here. Wants to remove that big blob if possible. He doesn't feel he has high enough damage weapons, which he doesn't, to be fair, or enough rate of fire to take on something like the Great Unclean One. So he's looking at shooting what he can kill. Remember, no 4-up invulnerable anymore. So first Corvus Black Star.
Yep, start off with the assault cannons.
Yep.
12 shots.
Cool. So it's a -1 to hit because you moved.
Miss.
And it's also a -1 to hit, actually, Mr. Beard, because they're over 20 models. So yeah, you're hitting on 5s in actual fact. Okay.
So 4 hits.
Now, with your strafing run rules, though, your Beacon Angelus, you reroll 1s to hit?
No. No. So, one of the weapon profiles on the Black Star missile launcher means I can reroll 1s for stuff that's in combat.
Ah, okay.
But not just all weapons.
No
That'd
problem.
be nice.
It would, yeah,
That'd be
okay.
nice.
Alright, fair enough.
So 3's to wound.
4 wounds, okay. Saves of 5 or more. 1 save. Disgustingly resilient. Another save. 2 Plague Bearers slain. Let's remove these 2. Okay, what next?
Okay, so we've got 8, 9, 10, 12. So I'll do the Hurricane Bolter next.
Sure.
So rapid fire, so 12 shots.
So just a -1 at this instance.
Yep. So miss, and a miss. So
4's the wound now.
6. Cool.
4 wounds. 1 saved. 3 failed. So 3 plague bearers here slain.
Okay.
That's 5 killed so far.
Cool. So with the rocket launcher, there's no point me using the Dracos warhead because it only affects officer cover and it's a lower strength.
Okay.
There's no negative for hitting ground targets with this. It just benefits when you hit flyers. So it's 2d6 for the 2 launchers. 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
1, 2, 3,
Just
4,
a
5,
-1
6,
to hit
7,
me
8.
because of my cloud of flies.
Yeah. Well, they are heavy as well, so it's 5s.
Right. Okay. Got you. So 2 hits then.
Yep. And then strength 6. So 1 which
Just the 1. Makes his invulnerable save though. Okay, so 5 plague bearers killed from the first Corvus Blackstar. And now for the second Corvus Blackstar.
Okay, so assault cannon first.
Okay.
5s again. Is there still 20?
Right, no, now there are no longer over 20 models.
Okay.
20 or over, so this is no minus to hit other than for you moving.
Cool. So 4s to hit.
4s.
Okay.
Alright, then
So 5 hit, then 3s to wound.
4 wounds.
Yep.
Very good. 2 saves here for the invulnerables. Disgustingly resilient makes another one, and that is another plague bearer killed. So 6 in total. He's killed so far.
Okay, the Hurricane Bolter, another 12. So these are hitting on 3s.
3s, yes.
Okay, so that's 7 hit.
And 4s this time. 4 wounds.
Yep.
Very good. Makes 1 invulnerable save. Disgustingly resilient. Makes another. So that's another 2 plague bearers killed.
Okay.
He's whittling them down here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then 2d6 for the rocket launcher. 6. These are heavy, so 4s hit.
So 3 hits.
And then wounding on 3s.
2 wounds. 1 save. Disgustingly resilient. No, so it does kill another plague bearer. So in total, that is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 that you've killed this turn. Certainly not a bad effort at all. But both Corvus have fired, and in fact, the only 2 things that can fire now are, of course, the Watchmaster and the drop pod. Let's see what he does. Right, we're on the Deathwind missile launcher from the drop pod. It is also targeting this plague bearer blob.
So d6,
D6.
shots.
2.
Just the 2. So 3s. 1
That's
hit.
1 hit.
And it's 3s to wound, so strength 5.
It's
No.
a 1, no, unfortunately not. Okay.
Wow.
And then the Watchmaster, sir.
Watchmaster, so he's in rapid fire range, he's going to get 2 shots this time. He is going to be using the Hellfire rounds.
Sure.
So 2s to hit,
And then 2s to wound.
2s to wound.
Despite that, only 1 wound, okay.
They're not monsters, are they, these?
No, they're not.
Cool.
Failed the Invon, disgustingly resilient, failed that too. It's another plague bearer killed. And that brings the tally of dead to 10 in a single round. Not bad at all. But that does mark the end of your shooting phase.
It does.
Will you be charging? Now, you can't charge with these 3 units. They fell back. But the Watchmaster was unengaged. So he technically could charge.
He could. I think he might do just to whittle down a bit more just in case they fail morale.
Okay, fair enough. But who are you saying he's going to charge then? The plague bearers?
Yeah.
Because I don't think he'll be able to fit through here, and he'll be within an inch of that great unclean one, Mr. Beard. So your only charging target, unless you try and loop, no, you won't be able to get round, I don't think. So your only charging target would be the great unclean one himself, which
I don't really want to charge him.
it's a risky venture, but there is always the argument that perhaps the great unclean one would charge you anyway. Let's have a little think, folks. Right, yeah, so much thinking, much debate off camera here. You know, we've checked this gap again. You know, he cannot physically fit through that gap without being an inch within an inch of my Great Unclean One, which he can't do. And obviously he can't go around here, so he can't do that either. So as a result, he's decided, it's bold, I like it. He's going to charge the Great Unclean One. Yep. So it's a Warlord fight. Now, he knows, Mr. Beard knows he's unlikely to kill the Great Unclean One, and he knows that this Watchmaster may sacrifice himself. But you never know, he might be a hero and he might survive. Yep. Stranger things have happened. And if he can get more wounds off, why not? Because then potentially he could finish. Yeah, you know, like if the Great Unclean One does kill you and then needs to charge, you know, and he's been wounded, then actually perhaps the Overwatch from one of the Deathwatch units could finish him off. So, look, let's just see what happens. Yes. So, do you make the charge first of all? That would be funny if you didn't. I do get to Overwatch against you, by the way. Right, that would easily make it. Yep. I've got my nasty flail, which is the tongue. 6s are required to hit. No hits, so there we go. In it goes. And we may as well go straight into the...
Well, he's going to charge the Herald as well.
Of course. Okay, I don't have any Overwatch, sir, so you go for it. It's a 5. You successfully make it in. It's gone into the Herald. Fantastic stuff. Right, well, which combat would you like to do first? It's the fight phase now.
Let's get the Leonidas out of the way first.
Okay, Leonidas. So my Poxbringer. Yeah, no problem. I'm toughness 5 with 4 wounds set.
Okay. So we've got 3 attacks coming in. I am hitting on 3s.
Yep. Oh no, only hit once.
Great.
Okay, to wound is 5s.
Yep.
No wounds.
Good.
Okay.
Well done, Leonidas.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Alright, now the Watchmaster himself against the Great Unclean One. So, let's see how this plays out.
So he's got 4 attacks.
Okay.
He's got 4 attacks. His Guardian Spear gives him +1 strength, so he's strength 5.
Okay.
Hitting on 2s.
Well, that's good at least. It's hitting on 3s actually, so the 2 because I've still got that Miasma of Pestilence on.
Okay.
So 3 hits.
He can re-roll
but
failed.
he gets to re-roll failed,
yes.
But the 2 would technically have been a hit, so
oh right, okay, yeah.
Therefore he can't re-roll it. It's one of those weird modifier re-roll things.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so he is going to be winning on 5s.
Right, okay.
I can re-roll failed wounds because of his Warlord trait.
Okay, well that's good.
Because he's a monster.
Yes. Oh no, not a single wound.
Ow.
Scratch him.
Oh dear.
That is a shame. It would have been very epic if he had smashed the Great Unclean One there, but it's not happening. Grotty did not want it to happen, so it didn't happen. Right, well, I'll save this combat. I will hit you back with my Poxbringer first. I've got 3 attacks, and I've got my Bale Sword, which is actually a -3 weapon, and I can re-roll failed wounds with it. So, 3 attacks. I actually do hit on 2s as well. 3 hits, okay. I'm strength 5, but you're toughness 5, I believe. Yep. So, 4's to wounds. Oh, but I've actually got +1 strength. I give +1 strength to... Did we just check it affects himself? Add 1 to the strength of Nurgle demon units. Yeah, within 6 inches of 1, so it includes himself. So therefore he's strength 6. So he actually wounds you on 3s. That means that I've wounded twice there, and I get to re-roll the failed one. That's 3 wounds. Okay. -3, sir.
Okay.
Oh dear.
He's dead.
Oh, he's dead. The biker Leonidas killed
oh dear.
by the Poxbringer. How sad. Here it is. The Warlord fight. Great Unclean One. 5 attacks. Hits on 2s. Right, well, we have failed with 2. Although ominous, we got triple 6. Right, now I wound you on 3s with this great weapon. I would have been able to re-roll failed wounds as well. But anyway, it is 3 wounds. It's -3. So you've got an invulnerable save, haven't you?
Yeah, 4 I've been vulnerable.
Well, look, that means you could survive, actually. You get a little bit lucky.
Come on!
It's a very good effort. So you want to use a command point to re-roll it?
I do.
Why not?
I want to survive.
Yay! Well done. Okay,
legend.
so there we go. He does survive. He was obviously he's just feeling the Great Unclean One out. Now, the Great Unclean One does have the attendant's claws and teeth here. So it's just D6 additional attacks. It's nothing too scary. 3 attacks, and they're only strength 2.
Okay.
I've got to roll to hit you first. I do hit you. I need that to wound you.
they can reroll results of 1 to wounds, but they do fail. So there we go. That is the end of it. Now you've actually tied the Great Unclean One up here, so it kind of worked out in a good way.
Yeah.
It's a funny one, isn't it? We'll see how this pans out now. At the end of your turn, you end up being halfway towards defend objective 1. You did get secure objective 2, which is this one over here. So you've got 1 point right now.
So I've got 2 command points left.
Yes.
In this game, I can use 2 command points to hold on to 1 card. And so I'm going to hold on to defend objective.
Well,
1.
you wouldn't need to, because you would achieve this card at the end of my turn. That's how it works.
Oh, so they don't get discarded at the end of my turn?
No, it gets
Okay.
I believe it gets discarded. I'll double check that actually, but I believe it gets discarded in your next turn.
Okay.
But let's double check. Otherwise, you've just got 1 additional victory point this turn. Yeah, no, we just double checked. You discard the card at the beginning of the next turn, so he could indeed get defend objective 1. If I leave those Marines alive, he will earn 2 more victory points. So at the end of this turn, currently, Mr. Beard is on 5 points. And I believe I'm on 3 points, if I remember correctly. I'll double check that in a moment. But regardless, Beard is on 5 with the potential of 2 more. So he's winning the Maelstrom game, which is very, very cool. Do have a morale check to make. He did kill a whopping 10 Plague Bearers, so it does mean that whatever I roll on this D6 is whatever I lose, unless I roll a 1, in which case I regain D6.
Oh, for God's sake! How do you keep doing this?
So that means that I now get to regain D6 Plague Bearers. This is the fickleness of the demons. So 3 of them come back to life. Oh dear. Well, it's turn 3 for the Nurgle Demons. We've got Defend Objective 2, which is the one that his drop pod is holding, behind enemy lines. Well, I'm guaranteed that one. I've got one unit in his deployment zone already, so that's useful. Blood and Guts, definitely possible. Let's see what happens. I've done my movement here. This horde that was over here by where the bike was has moved this way. We've got the scribe here, which is going to be very useful, adding the 1 to hits within 6 inches of both the units as well. Both of the Poxbringers have moved up to support. This Nurgle Plague Bearer unit has moved up to these last 2 Deathwatch units, valiantly protecting Artemis as the Watchmaster takes on the Great Unclean One, which incidentally did stay in combat. Meanwhile, the Fleshhounds have moved up to support, and the Prince has come out to play as well, giving a little 6-inch reroll 1 bubble there for mainly, actually, the Great Unclean One. I don't think he's actually in range of the Plague Bearers, if I remember correctly. So, look, it is what it is. We've got a Psychic Phase coming up. Wants to ideally be able to take out at least one of the Corvus this turn. Must take out this unit of Marines. I cannot afford to let him have those points. I've got an idea on how I'm going to do that, because actually I think funnily enough, the Plague Flail of the Great Unclean One should be able to do it, but we'll see, we'll see. So, let's move on. Psychic Phase coming up next. First up, team, I'm going to cast Fleshy Abundance on the Great Unclean One himself. So, it is a casting number of 5. I've rolled a 6, and what that enables me to do is regenerate D3 wounds. So, quite useful, helps him keep him alive. It's just the 1, but it's 1 wound back on him. He's on 15 wounds now. We will then cast Smite. Why not? And we're going to cast it, obviously, on the Watchmaster who's in base contact with us. So on the D6 roll of a 5 or more, it's a 9, easily goes off. So it's D3 mortal wounds now, meaning he will not get any save. Just the 1 again, so 1 mortal wound down on that Watchmaster. We will then come over here to the Prince. He will also cast Smite, just a straight up Smite here. Does go off. D3 mortal wounds. It's 2, so that's 2 more on this Corvus, very useful. Okay, then this Herald will also cast Smite, and the Corvus over here is also the nearest now. Remember, so it's gone from 5 to 6 to 7 to cast now. And that is a failed cast because of the new beta testing rules. Very cool. So, finally, we've got this Poxbringer here. He's going to cast the +1 wound, which is Virulent Blessings, and he's going to cast it on the bigger blob of Plague Bearers because they're more likely to survive. So let's do that. Does go off on a 10, no problems there. So they've got Virulent Blessings on. Overall, not bad. Done some damage on the Corvus at least. That's what we wanted. And we've hurt the Watchmaster, albeit only 1 wound. So shooting coming up next. It will be a very, very brief shooting phase as I fire the Great Unclean One, but that's it. So let's do this. The Plague Flail will actually shoot. Would like to have done Watchmaster, but hopefully we can get him in combat. I'm actually going to shoot the Marines, of course, because I need to take them out, right? So the way this works is it can be fired even within 1 inch of an enemy model. And it can also fire at units that are within 1 inch of a friendly model as well. So basically, it acts kind of like a pistol. And it's an assault weapon. Strength is user, so in this instance it's 7. It's -3 and it's damage 2. However, it says that any excess damage is not lost from the weapon, it carries over. So being a damage 2 weapon, in theory, it could actually kill all of the Marines from that unit, which is pretty cool. So what we're going to do is we hit on 3s, but we're re-rolling 1s because of the Prince. Just as well. So we've got 1-1 there. So we've hit twice, we've hit 3 times. The strength is 7. So I'm wounding on 3s. I'm just going to double check if it counts as a plague weapon. It's called a plague flail. However, it doesn't allow you to re-roll wounds. Interesting. Okay, to wounds. So funnily enough, despite all of that, we only wound once anyway. So that means it's only damage 2. Right, -3, so you've got to make 2 saves here.
Hey.
Right, cool. So 2 Marines are killed because the damage carries over. That's not good enough. We will obviously need to engage them with the Fleshhounds and or potentially the Prince. But obviously we want the Prince to go for the Corvus, so it's kind of down to the Fleshhounds now. We must remove those Marines. Let's see what happens. That brings us to the charge phase. It is what it is. The Fleshhounds charge the Deathwatch Marines. So we've got 2 frag cannons. Obviously this is a tough one. It's a tough break. 6, 7, 8, 9 hits with the first one.
Okay. Their toughness is...
Toughness 4. So
3 to wound. Okay, so that is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 wounds.
7 wounds, very nice. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 5s or more to save here. Not ideal. We've already lost 1, 2, 3 Fleshhounds from the first batch. Unlucky rolling there. Okay. We've then got 2 left. Can they make it? So second frag cannon. 6 hits this time. Yep. We only need those 2. 2 should be enough.
3s.
Oh gosh, that's
so
good. It's a good roll. 5 wounds. Okay. Only 2. Yeah, he's done it. All 5 are slain on the way in.
3.
Nothing we can do about it. Right, well, there's nothing we can do about that, folks. He looks like he's going to get that objective. So it is now the Prince charging the Corvus Black Star. So can he make the charge?
Okay. So kind of just the 1 hit and a wound.
Okay. It is a save set on a 5.
The Hurricane Bolter.
1
1
hit.
again. 1 more wound.
It is a failed save, discussing your resilience. Yes, makes it.
Okay. And then the missile launcher 2d6.
11 shots, very nice.
Get rid of that. Just the 1 again.
Classic. No wounds this time. Okay, Prince can't really fail his charge, but we roll anyway. 6, 7, 8, 9, no problem. I'm just going to tuck him in here with that wing. Actually, as a point of reference, but your objective secured, so
yep.
You will hold that objective, sir. Yes. Okay. So next we will charge with the big blob unit into this 5-man unit.
Okay.
So lots of frag cannon goodness coming up here.
More overwatch. So first one 2d6, 7
hits.
I'm gonna overwatch. I'm already overwatching. I'm gonna use a command point.
Okay. Right.
Ah, God.
Oh, no. So 8 hits. So that leaves you with 1 command point left.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, so wounding on 3.
Yes.
Ooh.
Oh, ugly roll. Okay, so 3 wounds.
Yep.
Of which I saved 2.
What's it
Disgustingly resilient. No. So you kill 1 plague bearer, or I move this back 1.
Okay, second one.
6 hits.
6 threes. Not great again. 3.
3. 2 saves. And disgustingly resilient does work, so they successfully live, sir.
Save on a 3.
No, this dice was already
Oh,
there.
sorry.
Mr. Beard. I rolled a
Cool.
5 and a 6.
Cool.
So okay, cool. So those have all saved.
Alright, and then the shotguns. Nope.
No hits.
Just reroll the 1. No.
Okay. Right. Based on that, then they again can't really fail the charge, but let's roll. So it's a 10. So it means I'll get a lot into combat, which is nice. Okay. Actually, I better move them first, because just in case it interferes with this one. Right, so that's how it looks after staying out of combat with the drop pods, and I can get 12, potentially 13, I think it's 12 attacks against the Marines. I'm still getting buffed by my Heralds, of course, and then next up, this smaller unit of Plague Bearers will charge the unit which is not engaged. In fact, they may as well just do a multi-charge so that I can just hit as much as I can. So, because you can only overwatch one unit anyway. So, right, the fresh unit.
So, first brag cannon.
9 hits.
9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Threes. Cool. So
7
that
wounds.
is 7.
Okay, 7 wounds. Which 2, 4, 6 fail. Disgustingly resilient. They make 3 that time, so 3 go through. So I'll remove some models here. Yep, okay.
Second one. Oh.
2, okay. Not what we were expecting. 1
one
wound. Disgustingly resilient. No, so it does kill another plague bearer on the way in. Okay.
Shotguns.
No hits, but re-rolling because of the Watchmaster.
Yep.
1 hit, can he wound? Re-rolling because of Crypt Clearer.
Yep.
What's that, Mr. Beard?
4.
4, so that is a wound. Disgustingly resilient. No, so it does kill another plague bearer on the way in. Okay, so it did kill 5, but they will make it. The charge is only a 3 actually, so not that great, but becomes a 4 because of the +1 inch. They'll still get into combat. Let's move them in. Right, desperate here. Getting desperate. So what we're going to try and do, this Poxbringer, he needs a 10-inch charge to make it in with those Marines. Going to try and do it because that means he's out of frag cannon blitzing range. And if I make it in, I could well actually stop them from taking that objective. So let's give it a go. He's going to Overwatch now.
So I'll do the solid shells.
Okay.
From the frag.
2 hits.
Yep.
Very nice.
I need to measure to see if it's in half range.
It's
But it must
half
be,
range
'cause
12.
it's
Yeah, it
12,
must
yeah.
be, yes. Okay, so it's in half range.
So winning on 2s because they're strength 9.
Winning on 3s, but regardless, that's fine. 5 and a 4 is fine. Invulnerable saves. Make 1, and the damage set.
Damage 2.
Okay, so disgustingly resilient has to kick in. No, so 2 wounds down is only leaving you with 2 wounds left.
Okay. And then the shotgun. Using the Hellfire thingy again. Nope.
No hits. Okay. Can he make the charge through the Hellfire? No, he cannot. Well, this is how it's going down. I'm going to open up with this Plague Bearer unit first. So 9 attacks, including the Plague Reaper, but I've taken a couple of them to attack the other units. Just to, because I did declare a charge against both. So 9 attacks. They are hitting on 3s now because they are within range of the old Scrivener.
The old Scrivener.
Yeah. And we can not re-roll 1s. So we miss with those. And then we wound. We are strength 5. It's the Poxbringer. We wound now on 3s, of which we get 4. And they're plague weapons, so we get to re-roll. So, right, okay, so we've got 5 wounds in total, 1 for each Marine.
Okay. 1 drops.
Very nice. So 1 is killed, Excellent.
So was it, which unit was this? This one or this one?
It's this one here.
This one? Cool.
Okay, so one is slain, no problems there. We then will move on to the big unit that's coming up next. However, before I move on to the big unit, I have to do these 2 attacks separately because this unit has got the virulence as power on it, so I have to do them separately. So that's 1 hit, 1 wound, so 1 save on this unit now. No, he's good. Okay, cool. And then it is 12 attacks on your other marine unit. 3s. Okay, and then we're looking at 2s now, because I add 1 to the wound roll. Oh, I don't know if I've got any 6s in that roll, because I'll get additional attacks. I'll check that in a minute, but we've wounded with these, and then re-rolling failed wounds. Yeah, okay, so all of those wounds, and I'll just check if I got any 6s on the hit roll. So yes, I did get 2 6s on the hit rolls, and because of the locus of virulence, the Noggle, the attachment ability, they're within 6 inches of characters, I can roll 2 additional attacks, both of which hit, and then to wounds. 1 wounds, but the re-roll because of the plague weapons, 2 wounds. So in total, you've got to make 11 saves, Mr. Beard.
Easy.
Easy peasy. It's not a bad effort, but 3 do drop.
Yep.
Despite the excellent roll, 3 are slain, leaving, I believe, just the 2 frag cannons left remaining, assuming that's how he plays it.
Yep.
Okay, but they are still alive. These Deathwatch are still in the game, people. And now the Prince on the Corvus Black Star. So hitting on 2s, right? No minuses. That is all hit by 1, which he can re-roll, and he hits with everything.
Okay.
He wounds now on 4s. 3 wounds, okay. No bonuses or anything like that, so -2 save, sir.
So 5 ups.
You have to make at least 1, he makes 2. That's another 2 damage down, but it is still incredibly still alive. Interesting, okay. So the final things, we haven't actually killed anything this round in terms of combats, or anything, well, yeah, to be fair, we haven't killed anything really in terms of a unit. So this is interesting now. So this great unclean one will try and take out the Watchmaster, see if it can get Warlord. So 5 attacks, of which all they do all hit. And then to wounds. Right. He does wound you on 2s. It's a plague weapon, by the way. No. So fails with that wound there. I'm just going to double check it's +1 strength. It is, and your toughness 4. Perfect. So yes, it was wounding on 2s. So that's 4 wounds this time on the Watchmaster.
Okay.
His invulnerable save of 4+ must be made. Oh, what a beast! 2 5s and a double 6. Incredible stuff. He stands for Leonidas and the Emperor. Unbelievable. The attendants will, of course, attack. 6 attacks this time. 2, 4, 6 to hit. All hit to wounds. They do get 2 wounds, so these are just straight up normal saves. Oh, and they can reroll failed wounds of 1. You've got past both of those anyway. 1 more save to make, Mr. Beard. You're 2 up armor, right?
Yep.
Cool, so no issues there. So the Watchmaster tanks every single one.
Yeah.
However, of course, let's let the hero strike back. So before we go to Deathwatch turn 4. So right, Watchmaster hitting back. I've also got to take a morale check as well. So Watchmaster now against the Great Unclean one.
4 attacks, taking on 2s.
Yeah.
All hits.
4 hits.
Lovely stuff. Now I'm going to need a
5s.
5s, yeah.
No, 3 wounds. Sorry, 3 failed.
Yeah.
But you get to reroll because your Warlord trait, is that right?
Yep. Yes. No. Yes. Bane of Monstrosities.
Okay.
One more.
2 wounds. Minus doesn't really matter because it's invulnerable saves. Both fail. Damage, sir?
Damage 2.
Okay. So,
No, it's not. Damage D3 actually.
okay. Are you sure?
Shooting. Yeah, sorry. Shooting's damage 2. Melee is damage D3.
Okay, great. So 2d3 damage. 2d3 damage. Okay, so it's 3 then.
Yep.
Disgusting resilience. No, so he takes 3 wounds to the Great Unclean one as well. Amazing. So he's only got 12 wounds left. And this Watchmaster is literally the hero of the Imperium. So also your Corvus will get to hit back, and of course the Marines will get to hit back also.
Yeah.
So
Let me
let's
just
do
check
all
how
of
many attacks he has left at 4
that.
wounds.
No problem. Okay, D3 attacks from the Corvus hitting on 6s. So 2 attacks, 6s against the Prince. Both hit, impressive. Can he wounds?
What's his toughness?
7.
7,
6 even.
6, so winning on 3s. 2 wounds.
2 wounds, okay. And the Prince's saves. 1 goes through, disgustingly resilient. He is a fail, so he loses yet another wound to the Corvus Afterburn.
Okay.
It's got 6 wounds left, okay. And then we've got the Marines.
Yep. So we got 2, 4, 6. So this unit, there's 6 attacks. No, yeah, 2, 4, 6. Yes. And then I did the Thunderhammer separately. So 3. Is it still -1 to hit? No. 3s.
No, not for that small unit. No.
Cool. All hit.
Okay, all hits.
Wounding on
4s.
4s. Oh,
1 wound.
Just the
Okay.
one.
Makes his save.
very good. Very good.
And then the other Marine unit, you've only
just
got
need to do
2
the
frag
Thunderhammer
cannons.
first.
Oh, sorry, the Thunderhammer, of course.
Both hit.
Both hits. Both
Both
wounds.
And it's D6.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So do 2 D6 damage. All right. So I need to make 4 disgustingly resilience. No. And then I need to make 3 disgustingly resilience. No. So 2 plague bearers are killed over there. Lovely. Okay. The 2 frag cannon wielders on the big unit. These are a -1 to hit. No hits. Right. Interesting. So that brings it to the morale. Let me calculate how many you killed from the smaller unit there and the larger unit and see what the situation is. Okay, so these lost 6. So what we're going to do is roll their morale. They get a 1. So D6 come back.
How dare you?
4.
Oh, God.
Gosh, okay, so 4 more come back. That was lucky. Okay. This unit cannot fail their morale, but you roll it anyway, because if you roll a 1, no, okay, so they do not come back. So now this unit can lose 1 if they roll a 6, the 2 frag cannons there. No, they don't. And likewise, that unit can. Oh no, they can't fail. That unit can't fail, don't worry about it. Okay, so that is the end of the turn, as we've said. We've already summarised the cards, got ahead of ourselves there. So it is Deathwatch turn 4 coming up next now.
I can't believe it's
And
turn 4.
yeah, it's going really well for the Deathwatch, because they've got the Maelstrom points, and they've still got those frag cannons and the Corvus in play. Let's see what he does. This is a turn 4 summary. He's got objective 4, defend objective 3, defend objective 4. Problem is, he's not in a position to take it.
I feel sick.
So he it's being exposed to Grotty. So he cannot score any points this turn, guys, okay? But he is on 7 points, I'm on 4 points. And this is a very exciting game. So, so what's happened now is, of course, he's fallen back over here with these Marine units, because why not have me charge again, get into the frag cannons, of course. He's fallen back with his Watchmaster, although in part of me says, why do so? The Great Unclean One clearly will not win the combat. He should have just stayed in and killed him. But, right, no, fair enough. He's fallen back, protecting his Warlord, because of course he is worth a point. And this Marine unit over here, after defending that objective, have now also moved back as well. So they're the only unit that can actually shoot this turn, along
Artemis
with
can as well.
Artemis, yes, and the 2 Corvus. So we're going to go straight into the shooting phase. Who's firing at what?
We are going to. I've got to start with Artemis. He's going to fire his. He's going to throw his stasis bomb at the Great and Clean One.
Fantastic. Okay. The stasis bomb is firing, but if you roll a 1,
Roll a 1, right? So it's if I hit,
yes,
it's D6 mortal wounds.
great,
If I miss,
yeah.
I take D6 mortal wounds.
But you do get to reroll 1, so right?
I get to reroll 1.
And you hit on a 2.
And I hit on a 2.
Okay, so you need to technically roll a double 1.
Yeah.
Okay, if anyone's
I've
going to do
done,
it.
I've done it before.
Right, roll it to hit.
Alright.
He hits.
Cool.
Okay. D6 mortal wounds on the Great Unclean One. It's the big 6. That's what he wants. Okay. Now I do get, of course, the disgustingly resilient, despite them being mortal wounds.
Yep.
of which we only make 1. So that is 5 wounds. That is a degraded Greater Unclean One now.
Awesome.
He's only left with 7 wounds left. Interesting. Could he be killed this turn and he claim the Warlord? Could be a huge blow to the Nurgle Demons, which are the only remaining demons on the board in this game. Let's see what happens. What else is firing now?
Right, I'm going to fire the frag cannons
Yep.
and the shotgun into the Great Unclean One.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
So the what frag cannon rounds are you firing?
I'm going to do the solid... Oh, it's a difficult one. Strength 9. Yeah, I'm going to do the solid shell.
Okay, fine.
Cool.
So
So we both at the same
5
time.
damage.
So
Okay.
they're 2 shots each.
Yep.
Hit on 3s.
So 3
Re-rolling.
hits, re-rolling because of the
Watchmaster.
Watchmaster, exactly. 4
Cool.
hits, very nice.
Alright, so
3
3
to
wounds.
Oh, wounded. That
Ominous.
is exactly what he wants.
Ominous. So they're 2 damage.
Not a single save. 2, 4, 6, 8 wounds now. This is the damage, guys, by the way. So disgustingly resilient. Okay, kind of turns it round, but not really much. The Great Unclean One has been unlucky. Still lost 5 wounds there. That leaves him with only 2 left.
Whoa.
This could spell doom for the forces of the demons. Let's see what happens. Still got a shotgun.
Yes, shotgun. 2 shots. Hit on 3s. Re-rolling. Nope. And then wounding on 2s. Nope, not wounding on 2s because it's
Wounding on 5s, re-rolling because of Crips.
re-roll. Yes,
To wound?
1 wound.
Can he save? He can save that
Very
one.
good.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, that leaves really only the Corvus and the drop pod. Interesting. Let's see what he does. So the drop pod now, Deathwind missile launcher into the Great Unclean One.
So D6 shots.
2.
Just the 2. Strength 5. So wounding on.
Got a hit first.
Oh yeah, sorry.
1 hit.
1 hit. And wounding on 5s.
No wounds. Okay, so
No,
just
no.
2 Corvus Black Stars. One's obviously degraded. They've both moved, obviously. What now? Let's see what he does. So this Corvus Black Star, the fresh one now, fires everything it can into the Nurgle Demon Prince.
Actually, this didn't move.
Oh, he did
That's
not
stayed
move.
put. Yep.
Interesting. Okay,
That's
so
stayed
no
put.
minus
This
to
has
hit,
moved, that
and
hasn't.
he's re-rolling to hits with the Watchmaster.
Okay.
Very cool. So he's going to get a lot of shots.
Right. Assault cannon.
Yep. Re-rolling the misses.
Miss. And a miss. Okay. And then
Okay,
wounding
looking at 5s.
on 5s. Not bad.
4 wounds. That could easily do this. Triple 1. Disgustingly resilient means that I need to make at least 2 of these. Which I don't. He's dead. That does mean all of the shots for the rest of the Corvus are wasted, but he is destroyed. That Slay the Warlord, a huge blow to the Nurgle Demons. Does he take anyone with him? The roll of a 6, I believe he does.
Oh my god. What does that mean?
Let's see. Great Unclean One. Oh. Or not, as the case may be.
Oh.
Yeah, no, he doesn't blow up.
Oh. He just
Oh,
flops
that's
over.
a shame. I thought he would blow up in some big blubbery bile, but no, he doesn't. Okay, he is dead. All hail the Emperor. And right now, he's just got the 1 unit left to fire. That is the degraded Corvus. Let's see what that does. Right, so this Corvus now will target the smaller unit of Plague Bearers that had a little bolster again.
He degrades worse at 3 wounds, so he's hitting on 4s.
But he did move, though,
He
right?
did move, yeah.
So he's hitting on 5s.
He's hitting
then,
5s,
yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I get to re-roll misses because of the Watchmaster.
Yes, that's true.
Okay, so assault cannon.
Cool. So 5s, you cannot re-roll the 3s and 4s.
Okay.
Because of the minus, because they would have not. No, hold on. Your
3.
ballistic still counts as right now 4.
Yeah.
You cannot re-roll the 3s, I believe.
Okay.
So you can. Yep. So that's fine. So you can re-roll those 2 4s and the 1 and the 2.
So there's just 1 3.
Yeah.
Okay. So and that one as well. Cool.
So you're looking at 6 hits and then to wounds. 5 wounds. 4, 5. Only the one. Disgustingly resilient. 1 more. 3 are slain. So 3 plague bearers dead.
Hurricane Bolter is in 12.
So no minus on these. Other than being a ballistic skill 4 because your damage.
Yeah. So sorry, which ones can't I re-roll? 3.
You can't re-roll the. Well, you can as ballistic skill 4 now. It's not a negative, so you can re-roll all the misses. No problem.
So miss. Okay. Very good.
And hitting on. You picked up a 4 there. That would hit.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. And then to wound 4s.
Not so good.
Gosh, okay,
so
2.
Just 2.
Right, disgusting. Okay, we might go for saves. Cool.
Okay.
All right, then you've got missiles.
Yeah, 2d6.
10.
Cool. So that's 10 dice. These are 4s because they are heavy.
Okay.
Rerolling the misses. Okay. Yep. Cool. And then wounding on this. What's 3?
Yeah.
So 4 wounds.
4 wounds. No saves. Disgustingly resilient. Ends up saving 1. Fails 3. It's another 3 plague bearers dead. Excellent. What next? Well, there is no what next.
That's it.
That's it. Yeah, no charges because you fell back with the units, generally speaking. So it's just a morale check for me. I did lose 6 from that unit.
Well, I could actually, no, I could charge with Artemis.
Okay, well, I've rolled a 2 for... Oh, okay, sorry. Do you want to do that? I rolled a 2 for my morale, but if you're going to charge in, that you may end up killing more, so it might not be relevant.
Okay, let me just check what the range is. So I need a 4.
Yes, because of course Artemis didn't fall back, did he? So he can charge.
He
makes it in, alright, so it's the fight phase coming up next. So Artemis strikes against the Plague Bearer units. Here we go.
Right, 4 attacks, hit my 2s. Rerolling the 1. Yep, all hit.
Lovely.
Strength 4. So 3 wounds.
3 wounds, okay. No saves. Disgustingly resilient. 1 and 2 more Plague Bearers killed here, okay. And then I'll get to strike you back, of which there should be 4 left in that unit. Okay, so, including the Plague Reaper. That is, they are not within 6 inches of the Scrivener, so just the 1 hit, but they are within 6 inches of a character, so exploding attack, 2 hits, and then to wounds. 1 wound, and then re-rolling the failed. Just the 1 wound.
Okay. Is this armor? No, it's a 3-up armor. Oh no!
He uses a wound, okay.
Oh, no.
So how many wounds does Artemis have now?
He has 4 now.
Okay, he's got 4. Alright, and I lost 8 models in total that round. I no longer count as leadership 10. I rolled a 2 for my morale. I'm going to double check what my leadership is with the Plague Bearers. So, leadership is 7. I rolled a 2, so that would be 7, 8, 9. Well, rather, I lost 6, 7, 8, and then I rolled a 2, so it was 10. So that means I lose another 3 Plague Bearers, leaving only 1 left alive.
Wow.
Which I may as well keep the Icon alive. Or no, I'll keep the Plague Reaper alive, why not? Okay, so 3 killed. Brutal stuff. 1 Plague Bearer left alive there, and at the end of the turn, whilst he didn't score any points other than, of course, slay the Warlord, putting him on 8 points, it now looks like, because of all the frag cannons, guys, he could actually, ironically, table the most resilient army, arguably, in the game. Now, granted, I've probably been a little bit unlucky with the saves in general, but having said that, well, it depends. Yeah, it depends. I've been lucky and unlucky, haven't I? But arguably, the only way to get through to the heart of this army now is actually relying on the old smiting attacks, because obviously this is only 2-man units. We do have the potential to hurt him. Let's see if we can. It's turn 4 for the Untitled Demons coming up next.
this is how it's panning in turn 4 for the Chaos Demons. Objective 6, psychological warfare, very unlikely, actually I think impossible to achieve, and secure objective 3 are in play. Now the good news is secure objective 6 and secure objective 3, that's objective 6. I advanced with the Scrivener and I made it. I actually rolled a 6. And then this Herald, he's just hung back here. So we've got guaranteed 2 points at the end of this turn. The Prince has flown across. I can tell you now he probably charged the Watchmaster, but now that he's finally in a good position to cast the power that I wanted to cast before, because it's that aura effect power within 7 inches of enemy units, that's a good time to do it, because I can actually get the Watchmaster, Artemis, in fact everything, where I am, so that could be quite good. Plague Bearer unit here, piling in, looking at engaging those 2 frag cannons. This little guy will of course be able to engage Artemis if he's still alive after the psychic phase, which he may not be, in all honesty. So let's see what happens now. It is the psychic phase coming up next. Pretty big one really. Let's see if I can pull it off. So this is it. The power that I gave the Prince, that is worth it now as opposed to casting Smite. So it's called Nurgle's Rot. Every enemy unit within 7 inches on the roll of a 4-up takes D3 mortal wounds.
Brutal.
So to cast the power, 4, 5, 6, 7, guess what? That's exactly what I needed. So we'll do this by the numbers. The Corvus Blackstar on a 4-up takes D3 mortal wounds. It takes 2 mortal wounds, sir. The Deathwatch Marine units on a 4-up, they take D3 mortal wounds. Just 1, so 1 of those is killed. So one of these Marines is killed. The Watchmaster on a 4-up, no. The other Corvus Blackstar, yes, D3 mortal wounds. 2, leaving that Corvus Blackstar on 2 mortal wounds. Artemis himself, oh, D3 mortal wounds. 2, he's only got 2 wounds left. This unit now, let's say it's a 3, so it's failed. And then the drop pod, that's a hit, D3 mortal, 2 mortal wounds on the drop pod. And then finally this 2-man unit here on a 4-up, no. Okay, so we did do some significant damage overall. Although we still haven't actually removed any frag cannons with all of that. Although wounding Artemis down to that is pretty good. Okay, let's see how this pans out. We will now cast Smite. From this onto this, onto Artemis. Smite. Fails to go off, folks. That's big. He will then cast Smite. 5, 6, 7 does go off. D3 mortal wounds on Artemis. This could potentially kill him, except it rolls a 2. He needed a 3 or more. Artemis is still alive on 1 wound.
Legend.
Right, so this is interesting. We still haven't really killed anything, remarkably. So what we're going to do now is the Prince will charge the Watchmaster. That's the plan. So Prince is declaring a charge to do some Overwatch.
Rapid fire. Nope.
Okay.
Oh, re-rolling. 1 wound.
Oh, yes, of course, because of his own ability. Yeah, 1 hit.
And
you need to roll to wound.
Yeah. Hellfire.
Okay.
Yeah. Wound.
Just to save. I rolled a 6, so yeah, that's fine. And then to charge set, we roll a 9, so no issues there. I'm just going to place him like so. Then we are going to declare a charge from my Herald into Artemis. He can't fail it. You can't Overwatch, so I'm just going to move him in. Then this Plague Bearer unit is going to declare a charge against the drop pod and the 2 frag cannons there. Okay, so you get to Overwatch with the frag cannons and the drop pod, sir.
Right, first frag cannon. Only 5.
Okay, 5.
That's the 5. Winning on 3s. Ooh, just 2 wins.
2. 1 save, discussing your resilience. No, so 1 Plague Bearer is killed.
Okay, second one.
10
Better.
shots
10.
this time.
3s.
Okay, 6 this time. 1,
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just the 1 save. Disgustingly resilience. Ah, that was lucky. I made 3 there. Failed 2. Another 2 Plague Bearers killed. Just killed 3 from that block. Okay.
The drop pod.
Wind missile launcher, 4 shots.
4.
6s are required. No hits. Okay. Again, cannot fail this charge, but it's about how many I can get in. 8, that's good. It means I should get lots of attacks in there. Let's see how this pans. 16 attacks against the 2 frag cannon marines now in the fight phase. And the rest of the attacks will be against the drop pod. So, we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In fact, we only hit with 7. Oh dear. Right, rolling to wound. It is 3s re-rolling. Okay. And I do need to check if I've got any 6s to hit in the first batch because they would explode. But for the time being, since it's only 2 marines, there are 6 wounds set on the 2 marines. So he'll need to try and make those saves. Right, he's made all but 1. So I'll now have to just check if there are any 6s in that initial batch. There was indeed 1 attack. So, or 1 6 I should say. It's followed by another 6, so it's a hit. Can we wound him? It's a reroll failed wound because of the plague weapon. It is a wound, so 1 final save on the final marine, and he is still alive. We're still yet to kill all the frag cannons. Okay, so the rest of the plague bearers, of which there are 3, 6, 7 that I had that were attacking the drop pod itself. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're rolling to hits. Oh, it doesn't say, is it still got the immobile rule where you hit automatically and stuff like that? Just a beard.
It is. I know it can't be embarked upon.
Just out of curiosity. Otherwise, it's 4 hits.
No, just can't move and can't be embarked on.
Okay. Cool. To wound. 2 2s, a 1 and a 4, but we can reroll failed wounds. So let's just reroll those. Your toughness is 7, I'm strength 5, so 1 wound. And normal armor save.
Yep, we're good.
And he's all good. Okay, so the plague bearers fail to kill their targets. Interesting. Okay, Poxbringer then. 3 attacks against Artemis. To hit, 2s. All 3 hits.
No, don't kill him.
To wound, 3s. All 3 wounds, and it is -3, unfortunately, on the Bale sword. Assuming you have an invulnerable.
Yeah, fuck.
Okay. He needs to make every single one, or he is slain. He makes every single one. Yes! Amazing. Okay, so he's still alive. Well, look, there's nothing I can do about that. And in fact, oh, hold on. Did I just roll a 6 on my attack? If so, it explodes. Let me check. In fact, ignore that entirely because I need to be within 6 inches of this herald. So forgive me. On the 6, I would get the additional damage. So the additional attack against him didn't kill him anyway, so there's no harm done. Right, so look, you saved, no problem. That just leaves the prince next. So he's going to do 7 attacks, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 attacks against the Watchmaster. Rerolling 1s, all hits, 3s, of which we get 3, 4, 5 wounds.
It's AP3, isn't it?
It is. No, it's only -2. But I mean, you'd effectively get a 4-up save regardless, yeah, because you've got your invulnerable save, right? So, can he get full house again? Ooh. No, he finally fails 2, but guess what? Still doesn't kill him. Because you still have 1 wound left.
Is it 2 damage?
It's 2 damage.
Oh, God.
Oh, it's hilarious. So, he's still alive. Both the characters holding on by the skin of their teeth here. That is epic, and that could actually spell doom, in my opinion, for the Untitled Demons. We do have 1 plague bearer because it's still my turn. I get to initiate the attack first, so he can't re-roll the 1. He's not within 6 inches. He misses. Right, so both Artemis and the Watchmaster get to hit back now. Can you believe it? Okay, so Artemis is going to strike first. Who is he hitting, the plague bearer or the herald?
The
Poxbringer.
How many wounds does the Poxbringer have?
This one's fresh. He's 4 wounds. The other one's only got 2 wounds left.
Right, I'm going to... I better kill the wounded one, I think.
Okay.
Right, 2s. Rerolling the 1s. Brilliant.
Okay.
Really?
Okay then. Right. Right, to wounds.
1 wound.
Okay, and so just to confirm, was that the plague bearer or the Poxbringer?
The plague bearer.
Okay, so to wound, to save rather. I rolled a 3. Discussing resilience? No. So you kill that last plague bearer, he's gone. Okay.
Now you've got the Watchmaster.
Yeah. Okay, 4 attacks. 2s again. Reroll the miss. Good. It's going to be...
I'm talking 6.
Yeah, 5s.
No
none, but I
wounds.
can reroll wounds because
Yes,
he's a
because I'm
monster.
a monster, that's correct.
No!
wounds, interesting.
No.
Okay, so the Prince has really hurt him there.
Oh dear.
Tricky stuff, but you've still got 2 Corvus, although one is very badly damaged now. And you've actually got a fresh Deathwatch unit that can fire, which is huge, absolutely huge. We weren't banking on that because actually we were going to try and kill this and of course going to consolidate into them. So all of a sudden, I mean, in theory, the Deathwatch could clear the Noble Demons up next turn. We'll have to see how it pans out, of course, but it is turn 5, potentially the last turn of the game for the Deathwatch coming up next. Turn 5 for the Deathwatch, and incidentally at the end of turn 4 for the Chaos Demons, we did achieve objective 6 and 3, so I think that puts us on 7 points, something like that. Regardless, Mr. Beard is still on 8 points if I remember correctly, and he's just drawn these cards. He is able to get objective 1 this turn, and that's it as far as I can see.
Yep.
And in fact his movement, this is a turn of course 5 summary, these 2 Deathwatch Marines have moved over here. Alright, so they're now holding that, so that will put him on another point. The Watchmaster has fallen back, of course.
Bravely.
This Marine unit has turns to face the oncoming hordes. Is that Deathwatch Marine falling back?
Yeah, well I have a question. Can I fall back over this?
Oh, it's a
A
really
unique
good point.
situation.
No, you can't. That's very true. Yes, you can't fall back through your own model.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, it's one of those funny things.
Cool, very
Unfortunately, the drop pod doors do count as part of the model. Hence why I've had to stay away from it, and hence why I'm engaging the drop pod by being around that door. Right. Okay. Well, that's funny. So I guess you can't shoot them.
Can I
then.
shoot myself?
But frankly, in some ways, you want to kill the Prince anyway.
Yeah, I guess. That's one of the option.
Okay. What are the Corvus Black Stars doing? They're staying in hover mode, are they?
Yes, just to just have the re-roll from the...
Sure, because they got the reroll from the Watchmaster. And then finally Artemis is staying in combat with that Pox Bringer.
Yes!
Alright, so
Yes.
look, that's it. It's shooting phase coming up next. Let's see if we can finish the Chaos Demons off. Alright, so he's firing at the Corvus, or rather the Corvus is firing at the Prince, I should say. And he's firing the really damaged one first. It's hitting on 5s, but it can re-roll those hits with the Watchmaster. Not that he needs it with that roll. I think he's hit more than he would normally would. Okay, and he hits another 2 more. So only drops 3. He then wounds on 4s because I'm toughness 6. And then he gets an extraordinary unlucky roll.
Yeah.
So 3 wounds to save. I do save twice. Discussing your resilience, I do fail that. That leaves the Prince with 5 wounds left.
Okay.
All right.
Then we're going to do 12 rapid fire hurricane bolters.
Okay. Hitting on 5s, so you have to reroll all of those except 1. Right, so that's 4 hits in total.
Yep.
And then it's 5s to wounds. Of which he gets another 2. Interesting. Does go through with 1, disgustingly resilient. Does pass that, so still on 5 wounds.
Okay.
And then finally the missiles.
Yep, 2d6. 6.
6 shots.
3, 4, 5, 6.
So 3 hits there. Rerolling. That's 4 hits.
And then these are strength 6, so these
Okay,
are 4s.
so 4s. Of which you have 3 wounds, very good.
These are -1, I believe.
Sure. Make 1 save, fail 2. And disgustingly resilient. Fail 2 more, so that means that he's lost 5, 4, 3. He's down to 3 wounds left now. Dangerous times. Coming up next, what will it be, sir?
I'm going to go for... well, the other Corvus, I suppose.
Okay. Other Corvus onto the Prince.
Yep.
Could and should perhaps finish him off.
Yep, so 12 shots, hitting on 3s. Because he didn't move. Although that's a pretty abysmal roll. Rerolling. Cool, that's better. So 11 hit. 4s. Cool. 3, 6, 7, 8.
8.
8 wounds.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this is -1, yes? Assault cannon?
Yep.
Okay, right. Wow, that was actually quite good. 3 failed though. He's only got 3 wounds left. Disgustingly resilience.
Oh,
Oh.
how very dare you.
Here's the luck has just come back. Alright. Okay, Hurricane Bolters.
Yep. Okay. Rerolling these. Cool. Let's 10 go through. Needing 5s.
Just 2.
Yeah, just the 2.
Okay, and no minus here. Both saves.
Nice. And then 2d6 for the missiles. Nice.
9 shots.
9. Didn't move again, so 3s. Cool. And then forced to wound.
Right, 5 wounds
Right.
forced here.
-1.
Okay. 3 fail. Oh, 3 pass, I should say. 2 fail. Disgustingly resilience. Oh my goodness! Wow. Goodness.
Okay.
Okay, right, that was very lucky on my part.
Okay.
So, okay, he is alive. Both the Corvus have fired. That leaves Deathwatch units left. Let's see what he does. Right, so he's doing the solid rounds now into the Prince.
Yep, so 2 of them.
It must die.
You got 3s.
2 hits.
No rerolls because
No
they're just
rerolls.
out.
Yep.
Winning on 3s. Strength 9.
1 wound.
So 1 wound, 2 damage.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
Oh
Mate,
well, it's -3.
doesn't matter. Demonic save.
Oh god, yeah.
Okay. Makes a save.
Okay, shotguns.
Shotguns.
Or shotgun.
Yep.
Both hit. I'm going to use the Hellfire, so winning on. Nope, sorry.
Crit. Yeah.
Rerolling failed wounds.
Yes.
5s. 1 wound. No, it's 1 wound.
Save. Yeah, it is an armor save.
Oh god, it's an armor save.
Yeah. The big Prince does have 3 armor save. Okay, so that that means you've only got 1 Deathwatch unit left to fire.
Yeah.
And that's these 2 frag cannons here.
Frag cannons,
And if you fail to kill him, and in fact if he fails to kill the Prince, then all of a sudden, well, you know what? Then all of a sudden it could be a demon victory because that Prince is capable of finishing some stuff off, especially with his psychic power alone.
Yep. Right, let's do it.
He needs this to work. His game is on the knife edge now, people. Can he hit? He does get all of his hits,
Okay.
so that is already a very good start. But can he wound?
3s to wound.
3
3
wounds.
wounds. 2 damage apiece.
5s and 6s
Yep.
to save. 1 save. Disgustingly resilient now. So there's 4 damage goes through.
Yep.
5s and 6s. This Prince shall live for Grotty. Oh no, he doesn't. He
so
dies
close.
just at the end.
Oh wow.
So no command points left. The Prince goes bye-bye. Significance, if he had stayed alive all of a sudden, I think the demons all of a sudden could have won it. Now I'm not sure that they can, but of course we do have a combat left to fight. Let's see what happens. It's Artemis versus the Pox.
Well, I'm going
Ring.
to charge in these 4 in there.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Okay, so in you go then. Can you make it?
Yep.
Yep, they make it in.
Okay. I'll do Artemis first.
Right.
No, I won't. I'm going to do that unit first. 'cause
Yes,
of the
but they've
Thunder
charged, they
Hammer.
have to, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got 6 attacks from 3 of them. So 3s. Okay. And then 4s. Yep, 4s. 2 wounds. 2 wounds.
2 wounds. 1 save,
Ooh.
discussing your resilience. Okay, so he's got 3 wounds left.
Okay. And then the Thunder Hammer. Both hit.
Both hits.
And it's going to be 2s to wounds because
Okay.
it's times 2.
Okay,
So
so
1.
1 wounds.
And it's d6 damage.
Well, I get to make my invulnerable save first.
Yep.
No, so yes, it is d6 damage, of which it's 5. Then I get disgustingly resilience. And that's it, 3 wounds, you kill him.
because he lost 1 wound from the initial foray. Brilliant. Okay, so Pox Bringer is slain. That would then be, well, that would be, you could consolidate into me.
Yep.
To prevent me charging you. Although actually I do get to attack over here first, to be fair. So what I'm going to do, oh no, actually you killed him with the Marine, so you get to now initiate an attack. So that can be from this Marine here.
Okay, so he's got 2. No, he doesn't.
No, okay. Right, well, I'll roll some dice for the sake of it. Let me see how many Plague Bearers I have against that Marine. So let's see what we can do here. 8 attacks against the lone frag cannon.
To be fair to him, he's done quite well.
Oh, they all have. I've actually not killed a unit. Right, 3 wounds, and then reroll this failed wound here. No, so 3 wounds. Can he survive? Right, he does finally die. It is a sad day. And then the rest of the Plague Bearers will hit the drop pod.
Yep.
Right, I've got 10 that can go for the old drop pod here. 4s. Rerolling failed wounds. That would have been 2 damage if I'd had a character within 6. But there you go, 3 wounds.
3 wounds.
Does lose another 2 wounds. Yep. Okay, fair enough. So that is the end of the turn. No morale checks for me to make. No morale checks for you to make. Did you want to consolidate into my Plague Bearers?
No.
Fair enough, of course. But no, of course, because with Artemis then I could just kill them, couldn't I? No. Okay, fair enough. So, interesting. I don't think the demons can win now. You did just get another point.
Yeah.
So you're on 9 points in total. I have no way of getting your warlords to securing that point. Let's have a little look at what I draw, but it is Demons turn 5 coming up next. This is a turn 5 summary. Scrivener's come out, he advanced. I only rolled a 1, so he didn't go very far. This, however, Poxbringer has moved. Artemis is the nearest, looking at smiting and felling that character. And this unit was in combat with the drop pods, so, you know, we've just stayed in combat with the drop pod, basically. I mean, at least he can't shoot us, right? So, let's see how this goes. What we're going to do is smite. Can we cast smite? We can cast smite. There is absolutely no need to roll because Artemis only has 1 wound. He is slain.
Poor Artemis.
Yeah, just at the last moment he is slain. It is sad. Okay, so interesting. Right, Poxbringer has done his job. Semi done his job there. Okay, well look, that's the turn, guys. All I'm going to do now is attack the drop pods. Objective-wise, I got Assassinate, by the way. Priority orders received and domination with the other cards I drew. Literally can't achieve it. Literally can't achieve it. My warlord's dead. So I just got 1 point for killing Artemis there. So that does put me on 7 points in total. Beards, you're currently on how many points?
7, I think.
No. You're on more than that. I think you're on 9, if I remember correctly.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with First Blood and Warlord.
Yes, but one of those cards is worth 2 because it was a defend one, so 9 points.
Very good.
Okay, so 9 points is what he's on. I've just gotten another point. As you can see, if the game ends, the Chaos Demons will lose, but I think even if the game goes on, the Chaos Demons will lose because I don't think we can take the fire. Well, we can't fire at those, funnily enough, unless I destroy this now. So let's see what happens. Well, let's do it. It's 24 attacks, including the Plague Reaper, against the drop pods. To hit. Now, I am within 6 inches of a character now, so they will do double damage, or an additional damage on the hit rolls of 6s. Or rather, actually, sorry, that's a wound roll, so ignore me. Right, so 4 hits, 5 hits, 6 hits, 7 hits, 8 hits, 9 hits. So actually, a shocker of a roll. Now to wound. That's 1, which will be an additional damage, and then I re-roll all of the other failed wounds. And then we actually end up getting 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds in total, but you will need to make the save for the 2 damage ones separately.
Yep, so 6 and then another, or was it 5?
And then another 5. So you just do 1 save for the double damage.
Okay, do that first.
Yep, and then just do 5 normal saves. Cool, so he only loses 1 wound, so we stay locked in combat with the drop pods, no issues there. So, as the game ends, Beard would have 9 points. I would have, as the demons, 1 point for assassinate, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. And I don't quite have line breaker. So it'll be 7, 9. Amazing. Does the game continue? Beard, do you wish to roll for the game to continue?
Okay.
Okay.
Let's find out.
It does. Roll of a 6. Making it turn 6 for the Deathwatch coming up next. So it is technically Deathwatch turn 6, but you know what? I think at this point I'm going to hand Mr. Beard and the Imperium the victory. It was meant to be. He's got secure objective 6. He can't get that one. But he's got objective 2 and objective 1. And very conveniently, guess what? They're right there. So he's just moved across here. That would get him 2 points again. Nothing I could do about it. At that point, I would have a 3-point deficit to try and make up. Realistically, which I probably couldn't. I'll draw my cards live here for you on camera, just in case it would have made a difference. Oh, sorry, those were the ones I discarded. So I'd get 3 cards. I would have got Scour the Skies, which, no prisoners, which would have been worth 2 points, to be fair. And objective 5. His turn, he couldn't shoot at me, funnily enough, but he could have and would have killed both these characters, there's no doubt about that. All I would have been able to do, there's no guarantee I would have even been able to destroy the drop pod, so I couldn't move off and engage anything else, let alone take any objectives. It is an Imperial victory against the denizens of the warp. What an epic game, let's talk about it.
Well, that was an epic debut. I thought that was an epic debut. What an epic game!
That was a great
What an amazing game. So, it's, well, technically, I suppose it was 5 turns, but
Yeah.
nearly, it went at 5.5 turns. So, conceded at the end, just wasn't any way of getting back into the game. And I think a really interesting debut for the Chaos Daemons, but also a really cool debut in a way for the Deathwatch, because it's the first time we've had the Deathwatch on the channel. Yeah. I was concerned at first that actually the Deathwatch might get run over quickly if like they got locked in combat, which kind of started to happen. You saw how it could have gone the wrong way very quickly, but then just with key rolls, I didn't actually get the kills I needed to. But the great thing about the Deathwatch is the Overwatch. Obviously, the Overwatch is really good against the sort of demon lists. So I actually made a really quite nice counter to it, because obviously I want to get into combat, and you're going to have to weather the Overwatch, right? So yeah, it was good. It was a good double debut. Now, demons in general, obviously this wasn't the nastiest list you can do, but I think they were a lot of fun.
They're very cool.
Yeah, I think the synergies with the Nurgle demons are really cool. We got a nice little taste of it, if you like. The denizens of the warp stratagem, deep striking humans, very cool. Sadly, don't have any Slanesh units. Otherwise, we could have debuted some of that cool stuff. They're very nasty.
Well, we could do that later on.
Yeah.
What that game's shown is how powerful Nurgle can be.
Yeah, potentially. Yeah, you can see the cores
list.
there. Yeah, you can see the core there for sure. I think if you, obviously the core and the demon detachment didn't do too much in this game in the end. So the flesh hounds, I showed you it to try and show you some corn stuff, and we got to see the armor of Scorn work with the Bloodthirster, which was quite nice. Bloodthirster sadly didn't really do anything. Yeah, it was destined. I mean, these big models.
Soaked up a lot of firepower.
That's true. Yeah, armor of Scorn helped, so in that respect, it was good. Great unclean one, quite interesting.
Yep.
I'm undecided whether I think that they're massively better than they were before. They don't give your plague bearers or anything really too much of a buff. It's more just the leadership. So I suppose some people would argue that you have to have him because of that. But the thing is, he can be targeted and he can be dealt with, really.
I like the Demon Prince.
Well, the Demon Prince does give a reroll 1 to hit at least. He is giving some sort of a buff. And obviously the Heralds I think are amazing. Like all of the Scriveners, the Poxbringers, and then having actually probably more of them and keeping your Plague Bearers buffed would be a good thing. Yeah. But the Plague Bearers overall, definitely a bit more killy, but they're not super killy. Yeah. And they're definitely not killy at all without the Herald. So if you remove the Herald support, they're kind of like, they're still only one attack.
You're rarely getting them all in as well. It's great having a nice big resilient bubble.
That's right.
It's very unlikely they're all going to be able to.
Well, again, because an elite army, well, for a start, you're generally wounds 1 because you're Space Marines, and you're an elite Space Marine army. So, as you say, we can't get all of the attacks in, and then to top that off, actually, even if I'm getting those additional damage, it doesn't really matter against 1 wound marine. So the buff that the plague bearers get isn't actually that significant against you. But when we saw that blob move in with the 2s to wound,
Scary.
3s to hit, re-rolling the 1s because the prince was there, you can imagine that gets really nasty very quickly depending on what you're attacking. But look, overall, epic game. Really enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. So Chaos Daemons Codex is available to pre-order now from Games Workshop or your friendly local gaming store. We'll do plenty more Nurgle Demons and Khorne Demons, and then very soon Slaanesh and potentially Tzeentch Demons as well. Full lists. We'll do some pure God lists, I think, next time, rather than mix it, and then we'll see what we can come up with. So folks, hope you enjoyed it. This has been Lawrence and the Beard. We'll see you next time.